You just gotta believe. Your University of St. Francis football team never gave up and came up with the 22-19 victory over number 20 Siena Heights this past Saturday in the program's first ever overtime win at Bishop Darcy Stadium. With a minute left to play in regulation, the Cougs had to drive 68 yards and get 8 points. Oh yeah, this game had a little bit of everything.
Well, I thought our defense played superbly once again. I think Marcus Stepp needs a red cape. I mean, it was like I've never seen such effort and big plays. Of course, Dunton, 22 tackles, National Player of the Week. You know, we're banged up there, but boy, had guys step up and tremendous performance. Offensively, we went against another great defense, maybe the best we've seen. So, you know, we're not in our mojo, you know, all day offensively. And then crazy. I don't know, I've had 460 football games I've coached in. And that one ended just wildly in favor of us. You know, the opponent, I think, decided all they had to do was take knees and run the clock out. But they chose to score, and I think that was a pole move, try to get a solid victory to move up in the rankings. But it gave us an opportunity. I mean, President, well, you know, they struggled all day moving the football. But one thing you can't overlook, man, is the character and the grit of our players. Like you say, 60 plus yards away, no timeouts, a minute 14 on the clock after the score. And you know, we have a sack, we have a couple incompletes. We are 4th and 17 with no timeouts. Crable extends a play with his feet, scrambles, makes a play. Dylan Hunley ran scramble drill. He had an out and was covered on the scramble. He adjusted properly. Crable makes the throw, got a first down, 27 yards. Next 2 plays, 2 Crable scrambles, gets us down in the red zone, get a personal foul, which was obvious. So now we're down, you know, inside the 5-yard line. And we had our little gadget plays that we were going to use. The first one, P.J. Dean, Dylan Hunley for the touchdown. We used back in 2015 against our friends from Indianapolis for a score. And then the 2-point conversion, we pulled out of a playbook from about 30 years ago. And Rixey made a play, a defender in position to make a tackle. He makes a move and hits Will Chrisman in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So now you go into overtime. So now the defense lights up again. You know, Schumacher gets the interception down there in overtime. They didn't even get a chance to kick the field goal. And pick up a first down, get it nice and close. I chose to kick on 3rd down so they wouldn't have the block team out. Gavin set the school record with his 4th field goal. And I do believe this, that was probably better than a 40-point win. I mean, we needed that electrical charge and to find a way to win. That's what you got to do. I mean, you know, you're going to have adversity, you're going to have weather, you're going to have great opposition. The last month of our schedule is tougher than any playoff run. So, you know, we found a way to get a win and hopefully get back on track this week.
Getting back on track in the MSFA Mideast is no easy task, but USF now is the only team to play all the NAIA top 25 teams in its division. True, the Cougs are beat up a bit and have been relying heavily on running back P.J. Dean, who started the season 3rd on the depth chart and now ranks number 4 in the division in rushing yards per game.
Well, a year ago, he's recovered from knee surgery. I mean, he's walking around gimpy, he's on crutches, and he's struggling through therapy. You know, all summer long, he was never at full speed. I was doubtful whether he was going to be able to make it. but he kept chipping away at it. Had some academic issues, took care of that, got himself eligible in summer school. Boy, talk about some grit and desire there. He came in this week and he's already watched film on the opponent, and that tells me, man, he's into this, he's getting everything he's got. Go into this year, you know, Justin Green, probably a front runner for National Player of the Year, goes out to game 2 and hasn't fully recovered yet. Eli Wallace starts the next game. He goes out with an ACL. So here's PJ that probably wasn't at 100%. I'm not so sure he is, but sure playing like it. He steps up and seizes the opportunity and has really performed remarkably.
I was upset about it, but I understood why I was down in the depth chart so deep. So I worked my tail off this summer. The whole team worked their tail off. I worked my tail off to get back to where I needed to be, and I know I still got some work to do. I'm not as fast and I can't move as well as I did this freshman year, but man, it feels good to be back where I need to be, and it's just a good feeling overall to get back, and I'm glad I'm able to show what I can do. Me being able to produce for the team, I mean, it all starts up front. You know, I'm able to have these good runs, but people don't look at behind the scenes of what our linemen do so I can have a good run, or what our receivers do. Being able to step up for the team this year, though, it feels good because Jay Green's a hell of a running back, so being able to step up in his place, I feel grateful. That's really about it. I feel grateful, and I hope to continue to get better because you said I was fourth in the MSFA. I want to be first. We all want to be first, so we're going to keep working.
Dean's been doing it, carrying the load for the Cougar run game, and this past Saturday, he reverted back to his freshman year. In the biggest game of 2015, Dean found receiver Cody Appenzeller in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. He drew upon that experience and recorded his second career touchdown pass in the win over Siena Heights.
I did. When Coach said he was putting in a jump pass, it made me remember freshman year when we did do that against Marion, and I just remember the confidence I had going into Marion, thinking that we were going to run it, and we did. So, I mean, it was just a good moment overall for us and the team. I ran it a couple times in high school, so the coaches had the confidence in me to throw the ball when it really counted, and I'm grateful for that. Being in that position, it was kind of nerve-wracking just because it was the last drive. You feel like it's on you if you mess up, but the linemen, the receivers, they did what they needed to do, and they gave me some open space to jump up in there and throw it to Hundley again, so I felt confident. It's supposed to be set up like a run. I'm supposed to make it like a run, and I got the ball. I got to the line of scrimmage. I didn't see nothing at first, so I kind of bounced it out a little bit, and I see Hundley wide open, which, man, that was crazy. I seen him wide open, numbers and everything, so I was just able to deliver him the ball.
And now the Cougs hope to deliver win number 6 on the season this Saturday on Senior Day versus Missouri Baptist. The Spartans are 2-5 on the season with a 21-7 loss versus Siena Heights and a 28-7 loss this past Saturday at Concordia.
Well, they are approaching the next level. They're struggling on offense a little bit. Their run game is strong, their pass game is not. But their defense is outstanding.
We should definitely not take them lightly. Their defense does not look bad at all. I mean, there's a reason why they competed with us last year. Their defense is not bad at all. I haven't really looked much at their offense, but from a defensive standpoint, we got to come in and don't take them lightly, really, because we've seen what has happened when we take teams lightly.
Under Coach Donnelly and his 40 years of coaching experience, USF never takes a team lightly. Coach has learned from some of the best that have ever roamed the sidelines and was saddened by the passing of John Gagliardi a week ago, who is college football's all-time wins leader with 489. He was a friend to Coach D.
Yeah, I've had opportunities, small college guy, Catholic school. Talked with John numerous occasions at coaches' conventions, and what a wonderful gentleman. Great football coach, great person, great leader of young men. Learned a lot from just sitting around and having a cup of coffee.
The only advice I'd say, treat everybody the way you'd like to be treated. I said that to my players over and over, year in and year out.
Well, he was a guy that started back in the 40s, so he was coaching football before I was born. And anytime you get an opportunity to spend 10 minutes with somebody like that, you can learn a whole lot. He was a guy that really believed that character development and inspiring guys to be the best they could be was a far greater than going out and practicing blocking and tackling every day. Never wore pads. Players never went out in full gear, saved it for game day.
Probably the most radical was no tackling in practice. People say, how can you possibly do that? There were so many injuries in practice that it would hurt us in a game time. So all we would work on in practice is defeating the blocking scheme, getting the proper pursuit, all the kind of things, mental, you might say.
You know, it influenced me. I mean, we go out in pads a couple days a week. But when I started coaching football, football practice, you were padded up and you were going at it every day. But it changed a lot of things in my way of thinking because it's so true. I mean, you got to know the fundamentals, you got to know your assignments and the scheme and the game plan of things. But bottom line, it's about making sure that spark gets ignited and begins to burn with a blaze. And boy, John was able to do that, and his record speaks for himself.
Players on this senior day, we thank you for their presence on our campus, and we wish them the best going forward. Pleased with all of our fans, officials as they travel away from USF today. And as always, we hope to bring glory to your name through today's competition. We ask this in your holy Lord's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stay standing as USF Marching Pride Director Dr. Stephen Candow leads the band in the playing of our national anthem.
It's the final regular season home game today for the football Cougars here at Darcy Stadium, but we will be hard-pressed to duplicate the drama and excitement of what we witnessed here 1 week ago. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Parson. Welcome into Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium. Sean McBride is back with us once again, and Sean, fans should have learned something, a big lesson when it comes to home football games. Don't ever, ever leave early after what we saw happening here last week.
Well, Joe, they talk about football being a game of inches. It's also a game of seconds. And, of course, last week we saw what I consider one of the greatest episodes of the Twilight Zone that I've ever witnessed. In the last 2 minutes of the contest there, the University of St. Francis really pouring it on with some trick plays. The reverse pass and then the two-point conversion, being down 8, with under 2 minutes to go, and then of course the record-setting field goal in overtime. Just a tremendous way for the University of St. Francis to get back on track. What an exciting time it was here at Darcy Stadium.
Cougars needed a win after 2 straight losses to stay alive for possible NAIA playoff bid, but in all probability will lead and need to win out the rest of the way, including today against Missouri Baptist. Spartans come to Fort Wayne just 2-5, but they are 2-2 over the last 4 ball games. Most recently, Sean, losing 28-7 on the road in Ann Arbor, Michigan to Concordia University, and even in that game, MBU was in an early 7-7 tie with the Cardinals. And remember, 2 weeks earlier, at that same field, the St. Francis failed to even score a touchdown. So the Cougars literally cannot afford to look past Missouri Baptist, despite St. Francis being 4-0 all-time against the Spartans.
Well, one of the things we're going to have to watch today is the run defense for the St. Francis Cougars. In the backfield for Missouri Baptist, number 21 Baldwin is number 3 in Mid-States Football Association rushing yardage. So he is really a threat back there. And, of course, defense wins championships. So the Cougars are going to have to come up big against the run stop today.
Yeah, Baldwin comes in with 729 rushing yards. He had 92 last week against Concordia. Cougar Spartans here today at Darcy Stadium, USF trying to stay alive for a possible NAIA playoff bid and looking down the road to a possible third straight national championship. But first up, the challenge of getting past the young but improving Missouri Baptist football team. We'll step out for a break and then return with a chat with Cougar coach Kevin Dowley. You won't want to miss that. It coming up next upon our return. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Starting with the senior members
K230, sir.
of USF Marching Pride. Soren Amstutz.
Hot me down.
Isabel Carmona.
That'll be okay because you've got a
With Rory and Renee Carmona.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Kayla Gustafson. With Melinda Gustafson. Marie Hostetler. With Stephen Jane Hostetler. Anna Kelly. Accompanied by Sam Heck and Ryan Kelly. Caroline Lutchen. Accompanied by Anthony and Teresa Lutchen. Lucas Norton. With Bill and Becky Norton. Alexandra Pittsford. With David and Elizabeth Pittsford. Alicia Shigley. With Tim and Angela Shigley. Jim and Melissa Reinking. And Sydney Stewart. With Nathan and Rebecca Stewart. The senior members of the USF Marching Pride. Cheerleaders. Tricia Newell with Stephen Mary Newell. Maria Tryon with Rick and Karen Tryon. And Carly Van Meter with Amy and Greg Van Meter. Now introducing the senior student assistant coaches. Andreas Gomez Espino with Marla and Carlos Gomez Espino. Nick Cox with Jen and Heather Duke. And Ian Johnson with Jennifer Johnson and Brooke Jones. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the senior class of USF Football Cougars, class of 19. Number 9, Pearson Harness. With the Richard Jackson Harness, Ron and Leanne Harness. Number 15, Nate Carson. Loretta, Charlie, and Kiara Carson, and Lydia. Number 17, Justin Green, with the Justin Green family. Number 22, Stan Jackson, with Gerald Williams and Letitia Jackson and Stan Jackson Sr. Number 31, Marcus Stepp, with Marcus Stepp Sr., Sarah Ashworth, and Yvette Stepp. Number 32, Malachi Mannion, with Josephine and Marlon Mannion. Number 37, Joey Lamping, with Jim and Teresa Lamping. Number 39, Eric Dutton. With Dwayne and Robin Dutton. Number 41, Wilmer Cole. With Angela and Carl Brody and Mickey Marshall. Number 45, Devin Green. With Dana and Harold Green, Griffin Green, and Bob Duke. Number 46, Caleb Summers. With Sierra Goldsberg, Amy Asher, Joey and Tom Summers. Number 47, Brandon Grasha. With Rudy Grasha. Number 48, Adam Hoffer. With Troy and Deborah Hoffer. Number 49, Tylen Bass. With Pam Bass and Gary McLam.
Coach Kevin Donnelly with his pregame thoughts here on Senior Day. It's the final regular season home game for the University of St. Francis Cougars. They are now 5-2 overall, ranked number 12 in the latest NAIA football poll. Still 1-2 though, only in the Mid-East League. And of course, Coach Donnelly in his 21st year. Missouri Baptist comes in at 2-5. They are also 1-2 in the Mid-East League. This is a Mid-East League game today. Head coach by Jason Murianic in his 5th year. A year ago, they were 3-8, just 1-5 in the Mid-East League. Let's take another 30-second timeout. It looks like we might be a little bit late starting today because of Senior Day. They're lined up with all the parents, and just great appreciation for all the contributions of these young kids to not just football, but with the band and everything that's involved with putting on the colored pageantry of Cougar football. This is Cougar football, by the way, on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize the senior class from the USF Marching Pride.
Tell you what, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here. Why don't you package in the opening prayer and the game open?
Hey, Cougar fans, follow all of the action of Cougar Athletics online at stfranciscougars.com. Watch live streaming action of Cougar Athletics and get the latest.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Darcy Stadium for the final regular season home football game for the University of St. Francis Cougars. Game time temperature, sunny skies, 54 degrees, winds out of the west about 15 miles an hour. Very few clouds around right now, but enjoy it because the weatherman says it's all going to change sometime during the second half with clouds coming in, then some rain, and even that four-letter word, possibly S-N-O-W. Now, they don't expect a lot of that, at least not till later on. Should not affect our football game, but we're going to have growing winds, maybe out of the west-northwest as high as 22 miles an hour. So it's good now, but will it last? We'll find out. Co-captains getting ready to come out for the coin toss here. Sean McBride will be down there joining our referee today. His name is Tom Burns. We'll have the introductions of the players and the coin toss coming up. Cougars are 4-0 lifetime against Missouri Baptist. Won last year in St. Louis in October, 56-23.
Mr. Dale Wilkinson.
Let's go down and get the introductions.
Joint Division in Vietnam from 1968 to 1969. Join back, Mr. Paul, stay the first. St. Francis take the football.
Very good, Sean McBride. We'll look for you coming back up here to the booth. Interesting note, during the media luncheon, it was attended by a couple of players, including Eric Dutton, one of our fine linebackers who leads, in fact, the MSFA in tackles coming in. But in all the euphoria of the celebration last week of that post-game overtime celebration after the Gavin Gardner 26-yard field goal to win it, interesting that Eric Dutton got caught up in the melee, tweaked an ankle, so much so he missed most of the week in practice, but told me Thursday he's going to be fine, was fine, practiced yesterday, and expected to be no harm, no foul here today starting for the USF Cougars. But those celebrations, no wonder that Gavin Gardner was running all around just trying to avoid everybody because he knew what was coming. Dr. Osenga of Northeast Chiropractic Center is our 106.3 sports media sponsor. You can catch all the highlights from past high school games on YouTube. Watch every touchdown, tackle, and halftime interview at youtube.com/Redeemer Radio. Missouri Baptist won the toss, deferred. They'll kick away from right to left. Interesting, Coach Dowley said if we win the toss, we want the ball. So that is going to be the case, as St. Francis will have it first. Ethan Metzler does all their kicking, and they'll kick it away from right to left. USF trying to start fast here today. Dan Jackson, I believe, is back. That targeting call was overturned. Wind blows the ball off the tee. They'll have to reset that. Jackson last week had one kickoff return for 60 yards. And he's got a long of 73 on the year, so he's done a great, exciting job. He just really gives a big lift to the University of St. Francis. Here comes the kick. Jackson's got it at the 12. Starts to his right, cuts up the middle, reverses back 20, 30, 35, 40. Stan Jackson, 45, 50. He's in the clear right side, inside the 35. Stan Jackson's got a chance inside the 20, inside the 10, and pushed. Did he get out of bounds? He did, not to the pylon though, out of bounds at the 1. So that's an 87-yard kickoff return, and the Cougars, Sean McBride, will have it first and goal.
Unbelievable. Stan Jackson, he needed one more ounce of gas, and it just wasn't there. He was caught from behind, but a tremendous opportunity for the St. Francis Cougars. And
officials pointing the other way. I don't see a penalty flag.
Yep. Holding, this one's coming back. But I don't see the flag, Joe, so a lot of this is going to be erased. Oh, there it is at the 48.
So St. Francis, and it'll be walked off from the Missouri Baptist 48, and USF is going to have it first and 10 at the Cougar 42-yard line. Wow, what excitement, though, by Stan Jackson. I don't know if you heard, but the targeting call last week has been reversed, so Stan was back there, and what an excitement he brings to the kick return.
Yeah, every time. Such a dangerous player. He's got great field vision that time, and even if they did lose a lot of that return, it still sets the tone for the game.
Expecting P.J. Dean to be back there as the one back in the set. 12 carries for 57 yards last week. Here's Crable, looks to Dean, works off tackles, got some room. 50-yard line, he's got a first down as he brings it down to the Spartan 47-yard line.
Well, again, we talk about setting the tone here. The offense firing on that first play from scrimmage, gets a nice first down into Missouri Baptist territory. And let's see if P.J. Dean is going to have the horses throughout all 4 quarters.
Cougar offensive line averaging 283 man tackle to tackle. Landon Myers starts at center, the 6'3 junior. Nick Shoemaker and Austin Smoger, they're the veteran guards. Ryder Burkett and Reese Roney are the tackles. Reese Roney joined us last week at the media luncheon as well. 1st and 10. Dean again. Dean tripped up. Gets to the 45, maybe. Yes, that's well. They'll spot the ball, the gain of a couple of yards.
Missouri Baptist on paper shows a 3-4 defense, but that time they had 4 guys with their hands in the dirt. And again, I think St. Francis running to set up the pass, they're going to try and get some additional pressure at that line of scrimmage to limit those runs.
Some numbers on P.J. Dean, 191-pound junior, came in with 484 yards on the ground, number 6 in MSFA running backs. On 93 carries. That leads the Cougars in those categories. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Crable's not put the ball in the air as of yet. Long count from the line of scrimmage. Now looks to Dean again. Starts left and checks off. Not going to get much. Maybe another yard to the 44. Now they're kind of backing up. Maybe no gain.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much there. Again, Missouri Baptist had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, 3 guys with their hands in their dirt, but they brought up 2 linebackers to show a front 5, and that was successful on the defense that time.
Very good linebackers. Kenyon Perkins leads them with 2 interceptions. Joey Marone's another linebacker. They've got a good crew back there. It'll be 3rd down and long. Let's see if Crable, for the first time today, out of the shotgun formation now. He's got 1 wide either side. Steps up in the pocket, throws to the left. He's got a wide open catch and a spinning away and out of bounds. That's got to be Rocky James out there with the dance work routine and down close to the 25 of MBU.
Great job by James, actually coming back to help out his quarterback that time, getting separation from the corner. He was able to get some a good catch that time and really good yards after the catch as well. He is elusive.
Well, Stan Jackson had him down to the 1 on the kickoff return, but they started back in Cougar territory. Now 1st and 10 at the Spartan 25. New set of downs to work with. And here's Crable out of the left side hash mark. Rolls to his right, buys time, has time, looks to the corners, got a man open. That ball sailed, though. And Rocky James, was he held on the play?
He was. That's exactly right. A little late on the flag, but a good call. As, again, he was curling in and then went outside. It was going to be a fade to the outside. He was not able to make it as he was being held in the backfield.
Yeah, trying to run that post corner route. Yeah. And the DB knew he was going to get beat, and you got to what? You got to take the yellow flag.
Yeah, it's either a touchdown or you got to hold him.
Tom Burns, our referee today. Pass center. Michael Malone will draw that penalty against the Spartans. Does come in with 4 passes broken up, 5 passes defended, 1 interception. He's a 5'11 sophomore. Very young MBU team. And now it'll be 2nd down. Well, let's check it. It
should be first, actually.
Yeah, it should be 1st down. Now they put it up, and they'll spot it inside the 15-yard line. As Crable again from the left side hash mark, looking to Dean. Dean off tackle. No, it's a keeper play by Crable trying to turn the corner and bounced out of bounds right around the 4-yard line. Good faking of that.
Yeah, it really was. Crable, he had us both fooled up here. I was looking for an interior run that time, but Crable was bootlegging around the left side and got some nice yardage. Not enough for a first down, but still now they're inside the 10.
Yeah, they'll spot that right at the Spartan 5-yard line. I'm not sure if they can pick up. Can they pick up a first down, Sean?
Yeah, they were. The original spot was at the 12.5. After the penalty, they were started at the 25. So if they get inside the 3, they should have a first down.
Okay, now they change it. It'll be 2nd down and 2, with the ability to pick up a first down if needed without scoring. Motion Schmeling. They'll give it to him on a sweep, looking for a block, cuts it inside, and then runs into trouble at the 5. Wow. So no gain on that play.
No, he got stood up pretty good after he made that cut to try and go north and south. There was really nothing there on the edge, so good job of containment by the defense for Missouri Baptist.
3rd down coming up, and still 2. St. Francis on 3rd down conversions coming in. Last week was just 3 of 10, despite the win in overtime against Siena Heights. For the year, they're at 40%. Sometimes those tough yardage inside the 10, inside the 5, they can be difficult. Crable out of the gun again. Too wide to his right. In the slot is Schmeling. Comes in motion right to left. Play action fake. Crable rolls right, throws over the middle. He's got a man, and a dying pass is caught by Rocky James. Touchdown. 5 yards on the touchdown toss on the dying Quayle pass, but good at the 11-12 mark. And St. Francis on the board early at 6-0.
Yeah, that was a Rocky James drive. 2 very good completions that time. James again setting them up inside the red zone, and then he really had to dive backwards to get that pass. Not a very good one from Crable, but James was there. 6 points on the board.
Good to see Rocky James involved. He's been a little frustrated the last couple of weeks. He hasn't seen the ball much. Now the hero of last week, Gavin Gardner, comes on. He's 26 of 28 in conversions. Right-footed kick long enough on the way and good. And 7-0 St. Francis with the early lead, and that's what Cougar fans like. They don't like this messing around coming from behind in the last minute.
No, that's exactly right. So again, when Missouri Baptist deferred, they made the decision to start the third quarter with the ball. So let's make them pay for it, and that's exactly what the Cougars did.
We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Sean, I did the Northeast chiropractic.
Oh, you did?
So that's
okay.
done.
All right.
I was needing to fill a little time.
Was the microphone good down there, or did it cut in a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. All right.
We got the basics.
Okay. Well, he was on the opposite side, too. You know, he went over there. I thought...
Kicking off the Cougars, 87, Gavin Gardner.
Welcome back, everybody, with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. We're at Darcy Stadium, and it's been a good start for St. Francis as Stan Jackson lit the fuse early with the kickoff return down to the 1. It was wiped out with a penalty, but Matt Crable finding Rocky James over the middle for the 5-yard touchdown pass. And now we'll see if MBU can answer. They've had Cam Cozy back in kick return. They've got 3 of them back there. It's sailing ball, and that one's fumbled at the 2. They'll bring it out anyway. Up the middle, and they'll work across the 15 to about the 16-yard line, and that is it. So that was nearly disastrous for the Spartans.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, both of those guys back there wanted that ball to try and return it. So what happened was one of the return men fell down. Well, now you lost a blocker. And again, the ball was being fumbled, and now the University of St. Francis Special Teams, which has done a particularly good job this year, sets up the defense very good at the 16-yard line.
We will see Chase Brown at quarterback starting today, 6'4" senior, completing 58% of his passes, 491 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sets up out of the pistol. Running back, that's got to be Chris Baldwin to his right. And they'll give the Baldwin. Baldwin finds a hole up the middle across the 20 to the 21. A gain of about 6 yards.
Really kind of need to talk about the front 5 here. The big uglies up front for Missouri Baptist because they are big. That's Smith, Bush, Walker, Satcher, Williams, and the tight end is Taylor. And these are some big horses up front, Joe.
Yeah, those front 5, 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores starting. Young team. But they are big, average 298 a man tackle to tackle. Gain of 6, second down and 4. Dominic Demarath is wide to the left side, and here is a throw, and that one is a little bit behind, but a catch is made up around the 29. That's got to be Isaiah King. Leads them. That's his 31st catch of the year. Came in with 463 yards. That leads the Spartans, and he's got 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a playmaker, number 12. We're going to keep an eye on him all day. Favorite receiver for the quarterback in Chase Brown. Just a deep little slant there, and more than enough for a first down.
Yeah, Brown very good looking on that quick delivery, not messing around, doesn't want to take a chance at a sack. They've given up 21 sacks this year, but none last week against Concordia. What does that tell you? Because St. Francis gave up 10.
Right.
1st and 10, MBU down 7-0, and again they'll run the ball. Here's Baldwin finding running room, but running out of room, and wrapped up and dropped. Boy, USF flying to the football, and Blake Schumacher came up.
That he did. Great pursuit, and great pursuit angle by Schumacher. Was able to hold him up there before a step arrived as well. So really a great job by the University of St. Francis defense on the pursuit, limiting that gain to really nothing.
Malachi Mannion also closing as well. By the way, Jordan May not expected to play today. He's had that continuing back problems issues. Don't expect to see Justin Green today. So we will see, but right now St. Francis leads at 7-0 as we approach 9 minutes time remaining in this opening quarter. 2nd down and 10. No gain, pump fake, now a throw to the left side. That's well defended. Boy, they're trying to go to Isaiah King, but Wilmer Cole never bought the pump fake and he stayed right with them step for step.
And it looked like that chair out there was, quarterback threw it outside, and it looked like Isaiah King was going to the inside seam along the hash line. So,
a little miscommunication.
Yeah, it could have been.
Incomplete pass stops the clock with 9:05 remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 10 now coming up on 3rd downs. Spartans were 6 of 12 at Concordia last week. For the year, they're at 31%, trying to reach their own 39 on this snap. Cougars with 4 down defensive linemen. Malachi Mannion, defensive right side. And here is the gun, and here is Baldwin. And they've got him for a sack back around the 20-yard line. Mannion was there. Pearson Harnish was there. And a lot of help from the troops, including Miles McClendon.
And Matt Schwartz gets up from his nose tackle position back there. Boy, that pocket just collapsed immediately, and Brown really had no chance to get that ball away. They were trying to flood the zone on the left side, and he had nobody to throw to.
You know, Sean, a guy that's really starting to emerge, sophomore defensive tackle Miles McClendon, 265, had 7 tackles last week, 1 for loss. And boy, the Cougars, with all the injuries they've had on that defensive front line, here's the rush now coming, but the kick is away. Low line drive kick, hits at the 48 of MBU, takes a Spartan bounce inside the 40, and Rixey's just got to back away. It's still rolling inside the 30 and finally down to about the 28-yard line.
Wow. Boy, that was serendipitous for the Trojans that time, as it really hit near the midfield stripe, but takes a tremendous roll. But that's all right. Folks, the St. Felix Catholic Center in Huntington, Indiana offers one-day and overnight retreats with over 70 rooms. Be sure to visit Our Lady in her grotto and walk the 30 scenic acres. St. Felix is the former home of Blessed Solanus Casey. You can visit their website at sfcatholiccenter.com to schedule your next meeting or retreat.
Second possession of the game coming up for USF. They lead at 7-0 on the 5-yard touchdown pass from Matt Crable to Rocky James. Now they start at their own 28 with 8:12 remaining in the opening quarter. Crable looks to hand it off, and there's P.J. Dean trying to work between guard and tackle off the left side, and he'll push it out to about the 30-yard line for a gain of a couple yards.
Yeah, just a little counter that time. He started right, then shot back left after one step, and there wasn't a whole lot there. So they're going to mark it up at about the 30-yard line.
Other games going on today. It's 10th-ranked Concordia. They are down in Indianapolis against number 2 Marion. How big is that football game today? Top 10 ranked teams. Taylor playing at Lindenwood Belleville will be there next Saturday. Number 23 now, Siena Heights. They take on Indiana Wesleyan. 2nd down and 8. There was movement, but no penalty flag is thrown. Empty backfield now. Quick screen comes to Dean. Dean got a block at the 30, 35. He's going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Hundley out there blocking along with Dan Rixey, doing a good job allowing Dean to get some separation, but it closed quickly. But 3rd and manageable. Here we go. The St. Francis should be able to get this one. This is going to be a big 3rd down conversion right here in the first quarter to see what the offense is really kind of made of during this contest.
You know, Sean, we talk about guys who wait for the opportunity. Dylan Hundley is one of those guys, and boy, did he come up big with that 4th down catch last week that kept the drive alive, and he's in the part of a trips package wide left. Crable needs 3 yards, looks the throw, rush is coming, steps up. He can run. He will run to the 40. He's got the first down, 45 in midfield, and took a hit.
Oh, he was going to throw it, but he tucked the flag back in.
Wow.
That looked like a late out-of-bounds hit that time, but no call.
But it will be 1st and 10, USF up around midfield. They'll mark it a yard back into Cougar territory at the 49.
You know, Crable did a great job. Good field position awareness that time. He saw some green acres on the flats to the right. Got a first down and more.
Rocky James, who caught the touchdown, he'll be split wide to the left side. Inside of him will be Hundley. 2 wide to the right. P.J. Dean has been in there do all the running. Now what do we have? MBU is maybe going to call a timeout.
They had 2 down linemen. They only had 2 down linemen. I think they've got some personnel issues there on defense. They might have been missing a man.
Maybe a junk defense. Maybe. Anyway, we'll have a stoppage down below. 7-0 USF. 6:20 remains in the quarter, and we'll be back. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
The Kelly Automotive Group is simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Choose from over 60 vehicles under $10,000. Visit drivekelly.com. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
Week in overtime by USF. When you look back, the touchdown catch today by Rocky James, that is his 5th of the year. And for Crable, his 11th touchdown thrown. And why that's noteworthy, because USF has been having a problem scoring touchdowns the last couple of games. Now they've got a new set of downs. Tight bunch lineup again. And they'll look here. Crable wants to throw off of it. Throws right side in the middle. He's got Hundley open. He backpedaled, so he fell down after the catch, but he's down to the 31.
Yeah, that throw was just a little off center. If he would have led Hundley, he'd still be running. He was wide open. He got lost in coverage, found a great spot. And again, Crable needs to lead that receiver. And that would have been an even bigger gain.
You know, Sean, it's easy for us. We set up here, and we don't have what's going on the field, the emotions. Do you feather a ball in? Do you fire it in there? And that quarterback's got to make that decision in the last minute, and usually with somebody bearing down on him.
Yeah, that's right.
It nonetheless is a first down at the Spartan 31. Crable again looking low snap, picked it up off the turf, handed off, and here is a Dean, and he angles to his right out of bounds inside the 25. Goes P.J. Dean to about the 23.
Very impressive that time. The offensive line kept their blocks. That play took a little bit long to develop because of the low snap, but Dean was actually able to bounce it outside and look downfield and find a lane because everyone kept their blocks.
And Matt Crable, I don't know if he played baseball, but he made a nice good of that low ball coming back to him to pick it up with no hesitation whatsoever. Now Hundley and Rocky James split wide to the left. Dan Rixey wide to the right. They've got single coverage. Now we've got trips wide to the left side. Crable with P.J. Dean lined up behind him. It's Dean. Dean off tackle. No, it's a keeper play. And here is... No, is that Stan Jackson?
I think it is Jackson. Stan Jackson that time.
Is that the Wildcat?
No. It was an end around. It was a reverse that time. Everybody flowed left and blocked left with that trips package out there. He came back from the slot position, and Crable just flipped it to him.
I didn't even see him out there.
I didn't either.
So,
no.
Doug Coate, before the game, I said, Coach, any trick plays? He looked at me, winked, and nodded his head yes, and that was one of them.
There it is. That's fantastic.
So it'll be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line now. Will Chrisman comes in, one of the heroes from last week's overtime win. He's wide to the left. He's got a big size mismatch out there. Crable with Schmeling in motion. And here is the give up the middle. And a straight ahead drive down inside the 2 to the 1. They do not score, but it'll be a 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, P.J. Dean with a little trap play through the middle there. They're spreading that defense out and up-tempo now. Here they come.
Yeah, hurry-up offense now. Tight set again. Dean looking to find his way. Now cuts to the right and will walk in across into the end zone. The hole was plugged between guard and tackle left side, and guess what? He just took one step back and just basically walked to his right for the touchdown.
He almost literally walked, Joe. It's just taking his time getting across that goal line, but it was just that easy for the Cougars. So the offense doing a great job. Great blend, I think, of run and pass today on display by the offense.
P.J. Dean with a 1-yard touchdown run. That is his 5th rushing touchdown. Now Gardner trying to make it 2 for 2 in conversions. Nepper with the hold, tailing off to the left, but he got it inside the upright. 14-0 in favor of number 12 USF. And we'll be back to Darcy Stadium. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
That touchdown was brought to you by Fort Financial Credit Union.
Now these are the games I like.
Yeah.
Back at Darcy Stadium, very efficient offense by USF. Now they lead it 14-0. Back deep will be DeCorey McGee along with Cam Cozy. They've got a 3rd kick returner out there as well. Might be Michael Malone, who had a 21-yarder last week. And Gardner ready to put the foot into the ball. Kicks it high, end over end. Short kick, wind held up. That'll be fielded by Cozy. Cozy across the 10, 15-20. Runs into a wall at the 25, maybe give him another yard. It'll be 1st and 10 Spartans now, but down here on the road at 14-0.
Initial hit that time put by number 85, Jay Siegel. He is a freshman from Lafayette. Jeff doing a fine job keeping his lane and then squeezing from the outside. And special teams players that time doing a great job limiting that return.
You know, it's interesting, in the all the festivities of Senior Day, they all line up usually with their parents out there. Pearson Harnish had his wife and his young baby. I don't know if you saw it. Had them all bundled up in the cradle out there, but really kind of a touching scene for that young man. What has he accomplished in his career?
Just tremendous.
Here is a pass, and that one's knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. Malachi Mannion got his hands up, and Chase Brown's pass never got past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It almost looked like, Joe, that he second-guessed that throw.
And lost it?
And lost it, yeah. Regardless, it's an incomplete pass, and they're going to bring up 2nd and 10. But, again, the defense is now in the head of the quarterback for Missouri Baptist. That's Chase Brown.
Well, you get the feeling now maybe starting 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores. You know, at this point in the season, you can't really say they're freshmen anymore. But,
right.
But still young and still learning the game, as we've seen the last several weeks with St. Francis' young offensive tackles. Play action fake, a pass into the flats, that's wide, as they were trying to hit a receiver. That was Andrew Krause. They tried to get the ball to. Incomplete pass, and suddenly it's 3rd down and 10 for the Spartans.
And Chase Brown that time, he was back there making that throw. He went down. It looks like he may have caught his ankle. He was up a little gimpy. But he's still back in the huddle now, so must not have been too bad.
Their backups at quarterback are Lucas Rockford, who's a freshman, and a guy I love the name, Gunnar Griffin, who has thrown for 466 yards. High snap, but Brown's got that. Time in the pocket, throws left side, looking for King. Ryan Johnson had the coverage. A little contact downfield, but we see no penalty flags.
Well, and again, he went down right after that throw, so the pocket collapsed. And again, the wind is a factor. We look at Old Glory down there. It is a bustle and looks like out of the south right now. And that might have had a play on the ball, too.
Dominic Demarat does the kicking. He'll be back at the 11-yard line. Had along a 36 last week, averaged 36 a punt for 3 punts. Got the kick away high, end over end, far sideline, and will kick out of bounds, or will it? Goes all the way down to the 30. It may have hit back, or it did, around the 40-yard. Tell you what, that was dancing along the far sidelines. I wasn't sure if it went out of bounds or not.
Well, again, good field position coming up for the USF Cougars on offense. The defense doing a fine job. Again, Missouri Baptist might have to really look at going over the top, because it hasn't been successful for them so far. And again, with the windy conditions, I think it's throwing off Brown's passes.
You look at the Spartans coming in 2-5, 1-2 in the Mid-East League. Now they've got 3 games remaining. All 3 are at home. They've got Trinity International next Saturday. Then they get Marion. Then they get Taylor.
Best of luck to the Trojans.
Exactly. 1st and 10, USF at the Cougar 40-yard line. 2 wide to the right side for Crable. Looks to hand it off again, and Dean does not find much of a hole. Got a yard to the 41. That's it.
Yeah, not much to talk about there other than the front line for Missouri Baptist doing a fine job plugging up those holes. Linebacker getting in there to fill. We've seen Dean being able to bounce it outside on a few of those occasions for success, but the inside really hasn't been there too much.
Matt Komakevich brings the play in from the near sideline. Call checks out of their Casey Call. You look at that Spartan defense, they've given up, or they've had registered 15 sacks, 8 interceptions, 44 tackles for loss coming in. 2nd down, let's call it a short 9. Crable short drop, looks, now throws left side, ball just took off. That went about 3 rows deep into the Missouri Baptist bench.
Yeah, he was looking for Rocky James, and Rocky James was at least 7 yards away from that ball. And Crable was throwing into the wind, so I think he might have had to put some more muscle on that, but that very tight spiral just really cut through there, and no chance for James.
You know, you were talking pregame down there. It is a west wind right now, 15 miles an hour. They say later on it'll gust to 20, 25, and that's going to be a big factor at times. 3rd down and long. Cougars trying to reach midfield. Crable looks again, dances, now flush to his right. He finds Dean in the flats. Get by 1, but not 2. Got to the 46. He'll be 3 yards short of the first down stick, closer to 4. And we will see if Joe Nepper is called upon. He will be to punt the ball with a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, Nepper's going to have to get a leg into this. Again, Nepper, a tremendous punter, really growing into that position for USF. And he's going to have a challenge with the wind.
A couple of weeks ago, I had the chance to talk to Tom Downham. I know you know Tom Sean from his Dwenger days, and he's really had an impact on Joe Nepper, especially in the latter half of this season. Nepper waits at his own 33. No rush. Kick is away. Nice high hanging kick. Fair catch is called, and the catch is made at the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. So it will be 1st and 10. The Spartans with their 3rd or 4th possession already of this first half, and down 14-0.
Yeah, and again, another long field here for the Spartans. They're going to really have to do something, make some adjustments on offense. We talked about it a little bit ago on their other possession. That going over the top has not been good because they don't have time in the pocket to make those throws either. The slants have been there, maybe a hitch. They need to find a way to get the ball down the field.
Spot of the ball is just across the Missouri Baptist 15-yard line. Pistol alignment now for the quarterback, Chase Brown. Brown looks, hands it off, and boy, there is Baldwin looking for a hole that just is not there. Maybe a yard gain.
Yeah, he's not going to find anything that way. Doing a nice job down deep for the USF Cougars. I believe that was Matt Schwartz shedding his block and making that tackle along with Marcus Stepp coming up from his linebacker position.
Marcus Stepp also got it. Did you hear Kevin Donnelly's comment? He said, last week I thought Marcus Stepp was wearing a red cape.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, definitely. We talked about it during the game.
2 block kicks.
Yeah, he was on fire.
Now a little change for USF. Devin Green comes in. He's on the right side defensively. 2nd down and long. Again, they'll run the ball, and a cutback across the 20 to the 21. That'll be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Missouri Baptist pulling the guard and tackle from the opposite side and bringing them around, forming a nice wall, and gets a good push that time, but still does not get a first down. This is going to be a challenge.
3rd down and 3 coming up. Spartans trying to reach their own 26-yard line. And now we're just a little over 1 minute time remaining in this opening quarter. 14-0 St. Francis. Cam Cozy wide to the right. They've got a bunch lineup now. Tight trips. Kind of a diamond alignment now. Shotgun formation for Brown. Brown long count from the line of scrimmage. 2-step drop. Looks right, throws right. Got a fingertip catch, and sprinting away is Cozy. Cozy got away from the defenders, brings it up to the 40-41-yard line, and that actually was Sergio Lopez on the catch, 8 rather than 6.
Yeah, number 8 that time finds his way to grab that ball. He, sheds a tackle, and he was really just kind of hit. He wasn't wrapped up, and he got some good yards after the catch, and it's a good first down for Missouri.
Final 37 seconds now. Clock is running. And it'll be 1st and 10. Spartans with, I think that's their first down of the day at their own 42-yard line. No, I think they had one earlier, didn't they?
In that first drive, I think.
The first drive.
Yeah.
1st and 10. Here's a quick throw, and they go to the tight end. And battling for extra yardage, that Anthony Taylor. He's 6'2", 257. They throw to their tight ends quite a bit. They've got Roosevelt Henderson and Nick Barron, also tight ends that have catches.
Yeah, that was an 8-yard gain. Not to toot a horn here, but the slants and the hitches, the quick passes are going to be a way that they move the ball down the field.
That is the final play of this first quarter. 2 St. Francis touchdowns. Crable to Rocky James, then P.J. Dean walking into the end zone. 14-0 after 1. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Back at Darcy Stadium with Sean McBride, I'm Joe Parson. Teams will switch ends now, and the ball right at midfield, so you didn't have to go far. But now it'll be Missouri Baptist, second down and short, couple of yards. Got the ball right at midfield. Here is Brown looking to hand it off and cut to the left side. They've got the first down. That's Chris Baldwin. Baldwin got a block and turned the corner and gets into Cougar territory for the first time today at the USF 45.
Needed 2, he got 5. And again, we talk about Baldwin. We're really going to have to watch the edge with this guy because, again, when he gets that ball in the backfield, he is off like a shot. So good separation speed from Baldwin. He's going to check out on this play, and 1st and 10 coming up.
Kevin Donnelly talking about the makeshift lineup. They don't have Ethan Vanover, I don't believe, again today. Jordan May is out with a back issue. So Malachi Mannion, haven't seen Mitch Thornberry yet, but now it'll be first. The pitch comes to the right side. And here is Kendall. That's the backup running back, Kendall Davis. He's a 5'8 junior. He looks for yardage down to the USF 40, and suddenly the run game has produced 10 yards and 2 carries.
Yeah, that was a sweeper on the right side that time, and it was basically all bodies to the right as the guard and tackle pulled and tried to form something there. St. Francis doing a good job getting in between those gaps. You saw Marcus Stepp really kind of blowing up a lead blocker that time and held him to 5.
It is second down, though, and 5. Now they've got Anthony Tail. They split him out in the slot to the left side. Big tight end normally. They'll run to, no, it's a quarterback keeper run to the right side. It looks like he's really laboring on that run by Chris Brown. Does get no gain, I don't believe. Did he look like he was a little gimpy?
What was that designed?
I don't know.
Yeah, because if for a quarterback keeper that way, he's really got to turn on the jets, and he just didn't have it, Joe. He didn't have it at all. So it looks like he was doing everything he could to get to the sidelines.
That might have been a blown play. Maybe a miscommunication, but it'll be 3rd down and 5 with Spartans down 14-0, trying to reach the USF 35. And wide to the far side comes Isaiah King. So watch that matchup. Cougars playing well off. A little motion by Sergio Lopez now. They'll run the ball. And second effort's not going to get it done. A gain only to the 41. Kind of surprises me, that call.
Yeah. Maybe they were thinking that, of course, this is going to be a play action, so they decide to try it through the middle, and nothing is there for Chris Baldwin whatsoever. Maybe a yard at the most, but punt team is coming on.
Demarath again into punt. They'll play field position.
In punt formation with the Spartans 19 down at Demarath.
Demarath to punt the ball away.
The Cougars number 7.
Dan Rixey back in punt return. Waits around the USF 10. Kick is away. End over end. Tried to take something off it. And now Rixey looks to run. Comes across the field left side. Stumbled at the 15. Turns the corner 20, 25. All kind of flags down though. Dan Rixey all the way up across the 40-yard line, but when you see that many flags, that does not bode well for the punt return team.
No, it surely does not, and they were thrown back near the reception area of the punt inside the 15-yard line, so USF might be in real trouble here from a field position standpoint.
Kevin Downey was talking, Sean, about they've tried to clean up the penalties and have done a better job, even though last week they had 9 for 85 yards and still averaging over 108 yards a game in penalties, dead last in the MSFA. That penalty is going to move the ball back, about half the distance to the goal, I believe. They're going to mark it off from the 13, should go down somewhere around the 6.
Yeah, they called a block in the back against the USF Cougars there. So, and again, it was deep where the ball was getting received. So another long field coming up for the Cougars.
Official is stopped inside the. Boy, with all those lines down there, it gets really difficult. But yeah, they're just at the 7 is where they're going to put that ball down. So the poorest starting field position of the day for Matt Crable. And he will have 3 wide to the right side. And he'll hand the ball off. Here's a run to the left. Nice cut up that time. Is that Stan Jackson back there again? No, it's P.J. Dean, 28 rather than 22.
Yep. Just got handed the first quarter numbers here for from Bill Scott here. Very interesting here. Talk about offensive efficiency. 3 for 4 third down conversions for the St. Francis Cougars in the first quarter. 1 of 3 for the Trojans.
Casey Call now checks into the ball game. He'll set up on the wing to the left side. That was a gain of 3 yards. Second down and 7 inside of 12 minutes time remaining first half. 14-0 St. Francis. As Crable out of the gun, short drop, wants to throw, steps up, throws left side, looking for Rocky James. That ball just carried a little bit too far out of bounds. There was pretty good coverage, but Crable did a good job. He put it where only Rocky James was going to have a chance, but it just carried too far.
And that's a great call. You're absolutely right, Joe. It wasn't inside. The defender did not have an opportunity with the ball, and it was close. It just wasn't there. But that brings up a critical 3rd and 7 here.
You know, you look back to last week, and Matt had some problems leaving balls thrown short and against Siena Heights. And, quarterbacks, they're like anybody. They can learn from their mistakes and adjust, and Matt Crable has done that. And he was there when USF needed him at the end. Dances looking. Now he's going to run to the left side. Cuts to the 15, to the 20, slides down at the 22. He has got a 1st and 10 for USF, and shades of last week in that final drive.
Fantastic stuff right there. Again, hats off to the offensive line for giving him a nice pocket to work out of, and hats off again to Crable. Good situational awareness. He saw some room out there when he broke out of that pocket and ran for a good first down.
Seeing number 15 check into the ball game. That's Nate Carson, the 205-pound senior at 6'2". Have not seen a lot of him this year. Dylan Hunley's in up in the slot to the right side. New set of downs for USF now. Just over 11 minutes remain here in the second quarter. Crable again looking on the read option, hands it off, and there's some running room. P.J. Dean crosses the 30 up to the 35, lost the football, scramble for it, still loose. USF thinks they have it at the 37, and they do.
Yeah, so boy, that was scary. Great counter that time as Dean ran just behind the backs of the pulling guard and tackle, getting a nice run that time, but again, lost the ball near the end of the play. St. Francis able to recover.
Yeah, that was Will Chrisman, who at 6'5", easy to spot, takes that big frame, stands up, and hands the ball to the official. 1st and 10, USF getting the extra yardage the hard way. They've got it at the Cougar 38. 1st and 10. Cougars trying to march all the way from their own starting 7-yard line. Crable again wants to throw, looks near side. Chrisman's got it, straight arms one, spins around at the 43, fighting for the 44. Boy, how many blue helmets are there? 5, 6, trying to bring that big guy down.
Yeah, fantastic effort that time by Chrisman. Really doing a fine job. He's there when they need him, and he presents such a big target. He's got to be a favorite to throw to.
You know, in all seriousness, it's been a building process for Jason Burianic, the head coach of the Spartans in his 5th year. But when you see something like that, all your team flying to the football, that's encouragement that the program is coming along. 2nd down and 4. Now from the left side hash mark. Crable looks at that Spartan defense and wants to hand it off. Here's Dean tripped up and is going to get to lose a yard down to the 43.
Yeah, nice penetration that time by the Demetrius Fisher, the DN that time, number 52, shedding his blocker and getting into the backfield nearly at the transaction point.
Now we've got, 5, 6 new players come in, 5, 6 players check out for the Spartans. They'll have 2 safeties back on this 3rd down and 5 call as USF tries to reach their own 48-yard line.
Kamakevich checking in there for the Cougars.
Rixey and Hunley, part of the trips package wide right. Near side, they come up and press coverage now on 3rd down and 5. They show blitz and penalty flag right before the snap.
There was still 3 seconds on the play clock, so it's not delay a game. No?
Landon Myers whistled for that penalty, so it brings up 3rd down and 10. With the ball back now at the USF 38-yard line.
New players, personnel there for USF now. 3rd and 5 is a lot different than 3rd and 10.
Clock inside of 9 minutes now. Rixey stays in wide to the right. Basically the same formation they had. Still with the objective reaching the USF 48. Crable rolls to his right, reverses back. He's got Dean, but that's well played and knocked down at the 38. And what a play defensively. That was read perfectly by Jalen Cowley.
Yeah, strong safety came up in press coverage that time, sniffed out the backside screen and shed his block, was able to get after it.
I think they watched a little film.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Nepper comes on to punt the ball again.
If they didn't, Joe, he's got great intuition.
Yeah, I guess so. One back in punt return. They say Mingo Loggins, who has a long punt return of 11 this year. Nepper holds the ball, now kicks it away. Wobbly hanging ball. Loggins and fumbled it away. It's loose. Scramble for it. Who's got it? Back around the 25. St. Francis comes away with it. Malachi Manion's got it.
Look at that. Huge special teams play that time. USF coming up big. Was able to separate the ball on the initial hit. And again, Manion with a great job covering up that ball.
Let's see where they're going to spot it. Boy, that one just looked like it had trouble kind of knuckling coming down in the wind. And Loggins, they're down 14-0. He wants to try to come up with a play, and wrong decision.
Yeah, a fair catch would have been a much safer decision that time. Would have been really there near the 28-yard line, so it wouldn't have been bad field position. But, again, fresh opportunity for the Cougars.
Reese Roney brings the offensive unit out. Landon Myers now 1st and 10. Cougars have got it, though, at the Spartan 28, 1st and 10. P.J. Dean off tackle. They try to tackle him from behind. He's going to get a gain of about maybe a yard.
Yeah, not much there. Again, backside pursuit by, I believe, again, that was the strong safety number 5 for Missouri Baptist. No, excuse me, that's the linebacker, McGee.
It's interesting over the last 3, 4, 5 games, and we've seen a lot of when the running backs for St. Francis are tackled. A lot of times it looks like they're being tackled from behind.
Yeah.
Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. 2 wide to the left. Crable out of the gun. Looking now, and now wants to throw. Looking, throws on the move. Crossing pattern. Hunley's got it. Works his way inside the 10. Still on his feet inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. Dylan Hunley again with a big catch.
Hunley's playing bigger than what he is. He's a sophomore wideout, 6 foot 193 out of East Noble. That night is very hard to bring down. He was able to shed 2 tackles and get good yards after the catch.
More and more, Sean, he's starting to remind me of Sean Boswell, who played much bigger than his size. I saw Sean last night at the high school game, doing video now for Jeff Mahoney. By the way, Sean Boswell told me he's going to play at the next level in France. Here's Dean, cuts it up the middle, got inside the 2, fights to the 1, and is short. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line.
Just need one more here maybe to punch it in. Let's see what the offense can do. 4 brand new jerseys coming in for St. Francis.
Yeah, some of the beef will check in, including Chris Smith, 225 junior blocking back. Quinn Zaire checks in at 283. So now they're going to come to that power lineup now. Martell Williams is in there as well. And the tailback is P.J. Dean. Stacked interior by the Spartans under center as Crable now whistles blow. Did USF call a timeout?
Oh, delay game. Wow, it didn't seem to take that long.
Didn't either.
Wow.
Apparently with that personnel change, so that instead of 2nd down, or they're going to move the ball back, it will be 2nd down and goal from the 6. And now
another complete line change,
exactly.
It looks like.
Rocky James, Dan Rixey come back in. So Kevin Donnelly says, you know what, now we got to go with our elites. Schmeling is also in there. He's up in the slot to the short side to the right. P.J. Dean, the running back, offset to the left of Crable. Motion back right to left. They'll give the ball Schmeling. Schmeling looking for a block, doesn't get it.
Yeah, that's that read option jet sweep right there. Crable did a good job. He was reading that defensive end who was crashing down on the far side. He didn't have an opportunity to go north and south, so he made the handoff, but the defense flowed and stopped the game.
Spotted at the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal now from the 5-yard line. Will Chrisman will come in, and he will set up tight to the left side. Hunley in the slot to the right. Split wide of him will be Rixey. And Crable now from the left side hash mark. Looking, play action fake, throws the fade, looking for Chrisman up. He's got it, touchdown.
That's
got a
it.
hand on the ball and got a foot, I should say, in bounds. That'll be a 5-yard touchdown. And Crable to Chrisman at the 5:07 mark.
Great job by Crable to feather that one in. Got plenty of height on the ball, used the height advantage, and Chrisman was able to bring it down with a foot in and another 6 points on the board.
Will Chrisman, who caught the 2-point conversion a week ago that was so critical against Siena Heights. And with that touchdown catch, that's his 3rd touchdown reception of the year. Now Crable's got 2 touchdowns on the day. Here's Gardner with the extra point attempt on the way. That is good. They put up their hands early to call that one. So a timeout here at Darcy Stadium. It's 21-0. Number 12 ranked Cougars in the lead. And we'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.
Welcome to the University of St. Francis, located in the heart of Fort Wayne, Indiana, where the Cougar basketball programs have won 2 national championships and finished runner-up twice since 2010. And the Cougar football program is fresh off a 2016 national championship. USF is a 3-time gold-level Champions of Character institution, one of only 12 NAIA schools to earn that distinction. The University of St. Francis provides you the opportunity to get a great education while competing for championships.
Special ground beef made fresh daily can be ordered within an hour's notice. To place your order, call 260-482-8400 or find them on the web at timdidiermeats.com.
You know, you're making me hungry. Do they cook them for you? Will they deliver?
I don't know about that, Joe. For you, probably.
Yeah. Right. Gardner ready to kick it away, right to left. High, end over end. That'll be fielded inside the 5. A tough ball to handle. Now they'll bring it out. Cut to the 10, to the 15, out to the 21, 22-yard line. That's where Missouri Baptist goes to work once again. And I'll tell you what, that wind is starting to play tricks on those balls high in the air.
Yeah, it surely is. It's got to be tough for those return guys. As we've seen before, it threw off one return and caused a turnover that time. So it's going to limit gains and really throw those return men off their game. And, yeah, St. Francis gives another long field to the Trojans.
Chase Brown comes out again this series at quarterback. 5:01 remains in the first half. They've got Roosevelt Henderson now out there, and he's split out normally a tight end up in the slot to the right side. They want him right up on the line now. And here is a little run to the right side, escaping, and a cutback as the quarterback Chase Brown. And lucky, well, he picks up 2 yards as USF had him. It appeared dead to rights for a moment for a big loss.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that was Jamesich there in the backfield and almost got a paw on him and was able to wrangle him down, but he escaped and got a couple yards.
You know, Sean, at the media luncheon Thursday, I asked Eric Dutton, I said, how is it is it nice to have your buddy back, the other linebacker?
Yeah.
And Pearson Harney just looked at me and beamed. Very, very nice.
Yes.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Bunch lineup again, that diamond formation to the short side, near side, as Brown takes a look to his right. Long count from the line of scrimmage, wants to throw. Now has time, throws left side, and that's a nice delivery. That's Isaiah King, a little square out pattern. He's got a 1st and 10 at the 35.
Yeah, very nice just to catch that ball and tiptoe out of bounds and moving the chains for Missouri Baptist. We've seen them really kind of start these drives, get 1 or 2 first downs, and then as the field starts to shrink, they just kind of lose momentum.
Jamesich out there, part of the down lineman set. Miles McClendon is down there also. 1st and 10. Again, Brown looks on the fade, trying to go right side. Boy, there's a lot of hand. That's Ryan Johnson. Well, which way is the pass interference call? Because it looked as much that Demareth was interfering with Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson didn't get turned around, I think is going to be the problem, Joe. I think. Yep. So this one's going to be against St. Francis. But you're right. There was... if, in fact, he would have turned around, I bet there wouldn't have been a flag on that play because both of them were going at each other.
A lot of hand fighting going down. Tom Burns, our referee, is going to let us know, but looks like Silver and Blue already backing up.
Defensive pass interference, number 21 on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Well, they gave Wilmer Cole's number, but I think that was actually Ryan Johnson,
Yeah.
21 rather than 41. See, I'm not the only one that screws up those numbers.
That's all right. You know, interestingly enough, on a different note, look at all these big white fluffy clouds now pouring in over the area.
Yeah, and look to the north. There's building up, they said, by about 2:30, so it looks like we got another hour. Hope we can get out of here before the wet stuff comes in. 1st and 10 at midfield. Missouri Baptist trying to get something going, and here's a quarterback keeper call, and that time Chase Brown loops around the left side and gets it to the USF somewhere around inside the 47-yard line.
You know, interesting call that time, but the quarterback still does not look to be walking, 100%. He seems to be favoring an ankle a little bit. So on that read option, it was interesting that he called his own number.
Did have 20 carries last week for 45 yards in Ann Arbor against Concordia. Gains 3, 2nd and 7. Clock just over 3 minutes remaining here until intermission, and Brown drops. Short drop now being pursued, steps up and runs and pushes down to the 43. So he'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down opportunity.
Yeah, that's twice in a row he's had to tote that rock north and south, and again, that will wear on him. That was really more of a coverage opportunity as the pocket was collapsing. His receivers were covered, and he just was running for his life.
Matt Swartz rallied to make the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 2. They've got to get to the 40-yard line and down 21-0. Both the teams, well, let's see. St. Francis all 3 timeouts remaining. Spartans have 2. Brown again, short drop, looks, pounds, now flush to his right, wants to throw and throws it away. He was looking for Anthony Tail, and no chance on that one. Basically a throwaway, I think. It'll bring up 4th down.
Well, maybe if he was 7 or 8 foot tall, he might have had an opportunity at that. But
look at Brown. He does look like he's limping at times.
Yeah. I don't think he's 100%. I really don't.
So now it'll be 4th down, and Missouri Baptist with 2 timeouts remaining is going to take one of those, leaving 1. And 21-0. USF 2:28 remains until intermission. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
This is the first time I've been able to do this kind of more complete understanding or view of your body. One of the things that's really important about this is that it's kind of legitimizing us as athletes.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Leo Chipman and Anthony Panza, please report to the Fort Financial Credit Union booth under the bleachers. Thank you.
After today, the Cougars go on the road, their final 2 regular season games. Next week will be at Belleville, which is on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River, just across from St. Louis. And that'll be a 2 o'clock kickoff, Fort Wayne time. Our pregame starts at 1:45. Then it's on the Taylor for the regular season finale 2 weeks from today. 4th down and 2. Missouri Baptist trying to stay alive here in the first half, trying to get something going, down 21-0. They'll have 2 wide to the short side to the left. Again, Chase Brown out of the pistol, wants to throw, looks, being pursued. He's got running room to his left and ball down. He reaches late. Was he out of bounds, though?
I think it's going to be short. Dutton was Pearson Harnish that time in pursuit from the backside, and I don't think he's got it. Nope. St. Francis ball.
Well, again, a game of inches at time. They'll spot that ball inside the USF 41, but he had to get to the 40. So a 4th down stop by St. Francis defensively. And now the Cougar offense with 2:22 remaining back on the field in very good field position at the Cougar 41.
This is just a tremendous job by Harnish on the backside pursuit that time, able to wrangle him and prevent him from getting that first down. That was big.
You know, Sean, you think back here on Senior Day, all the seniors out there with their parents and loved ones, and especially for the seniors, maybe this is the final time playing here at Darcy Stadium. Short drop. Crable wants to throw. Now checks off, runs to his left. He can run, he can throw. He'll run 45 midfield and stepped out of bounds.
Nice 9-yard gain that time by Crable. When nothing is there downfield, he's got the legs, and he does a very good job of running out there into the flats and getting a nice gain.
You know, because of all the sacks over the last 2-3 weeks that he took, he has only 30-some yards net gain, but Boy, last week he had those two critical scrambles in the final 1:17 that set up the tying scores and then the win in overtime, and there's a big run for 9 yards today. Now it's 2nd down and 1. A lot of teams maybe try to put up the home run ball. Looks like Crable may try. Throws quickly. He's got a catch. That's out of bounds by Rocky James at the 37. Move the chains.
James was able to catch that ball, look north and south and see if anything was there. There really wasn't. The defender was right there, so he just steps out of bounds, saves a bruise, and gets a first down.
Kevin Donnelly was talking before the ball game to me, Sean. He said, "You're talking about Rocky James." I said, "He seems like he's kind of gone away a little bit." And he said, he looks at me, he said, "He's frustrated. He's just not seeing the ball. And when you're young, you know, you don't have the long view sometimes."
Right.
1st and 10. Cougars on the prowl once again with 1:42 remaining. A low snap, but Crable's got it. Looks now. He's got open field to his right. Motions, throws. Rixey's down at the 10. Stumbles, stepped out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 6.
A deep out route that time by Rixey, and he does a great job of splitting those defenders, the corner and the safety there. As Crable was rolling, he put it right on the money. That was a great throw.
Yeah, Matt was directing.
Yeah.
And Rixey caught him perfectly. Now Chrisman comes in. Jordan Schmeling. Hundley checks out along with Rocky James. It'll be 1st and goal. Cougars trying to tack on one more score here in the final 1:34. They lead at 21-0. It'll be 1st and goal at the 6. They'll spot it at the right side hash mark. Motion back to the wide side. Here's the counter run by P.J. Dean. Spins, backpedals inside the 1, but did not break the plane of the goal. Again, those scrum plays where everything continues on, I hate those. They just, you might as well just have the EMS crew standing by.
That's right.
Cougars will take a timeout. They've got 2 remaining. Clock down to 1:23. Still a lot of time to plot strategy, and I don't think they got a best spot in the world inside the 2, but we'll step out in this 21-0 lead. USF on top, and this is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM. Well, they're going to move that ball back nearly to the 2-yard line. What's interesting, the far side official had it spotted at the 1, and suddenly he was backing up because P.J. Dean was pushed back.
Yeah.
But the gain was down inside the 1.
And they should give forward progress, but they didn't. So.
Now you got a late personnel change by the Spartans. Tight formation by USF. Crable under center. Waiting for the snap from Landon Myers. Long count from the line of scrimmage. Still. Now they look, and here's an off-the-tackle run, and P.J. Dean reaching. And again, that same official backed up to the 2-yard line as P.J. Dean is down inside the 1. They do spot the ball there, but no score.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a big scrum down there, and you would think if, in fact, Dean would have had one more step before he lunged forward, it might be a little difference maker. But they've got 2 more downs here. Let's see what happens.
Wouldn't be surprised if Crable maybe calls his own number. It's all. We're going to see Dan Rixey coming in.
And Chrisman. Looks like the power package is coming out, and the hands group is in.
Casey Call will check in. So Schmeling in, split wide in the slot. Rixey, who caught that catch inside the 5. And now it'll be Crable, and he's got P.J. Dean in motion, though.
Oh, that's
going to cost him 5 yards.
Yeah, sure will.
Be an illegal shift. Somebody didn't get the snap count.
That's right. Well, they're going to move him back 5, and let's see if, in fact, we'd have another personnel change here.
Sometimes that gives your receivers a little bit more room to work with.
Yeah. I could see a fade to the corner. Chrisman's going to stay in there, and it was successful before, and I'm always of the opinion, run it till you stop it. So
Kyle May comes into the ball game. We saw him earlier. Clock stopped right now with 36.5 seconds remaining.
And if they're not successful here on 3rd and goal, one would find it interesting to see what they do if, in fact, they come in and try and chip one in, or if they go for it.
There's a penalty. Sir, please, 10 seconds off the clock. 10 seconds.
Shows
Clock, 26.5.
they want to take the clock from 36.5 seconds down to 26.5 seconds. 10-second runoff. And now they do mark that ball back outside the 6-yard line, so it will be 3rd down and goal. And
another timeout
and
from St. Francis. Yeah.
Kevin, Coach Donnelly wants to talk things over, so they'll set up, and maybe we'll see some trickery when we return to Darcy Stadium. 21-0 currently. USF trying to add more when we return. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
Located in the heart of Fort Wayne, Indiana, where the Cougar basketball programs have won 2 national championships and finished runner-up twice since 2010. And the Cougar football program is fresh off a 2016 national championship. USF is a 3-time gold-level Champions of Character institution, one of only 12 NAIA schools to earn that distinction. The University of St. Francis provides you the opportunity to get a great education while competing for championships.
Will Chrisman checks in. He's tight to the right side. Schmeling up on the wing. Rixey split wide to the short side to the left. E.J. Dean offset to the left of Matt Crable out of the shotgun formation. Motion back to the short side, and here's the reverse coming up, and here is Rixey looking back to left. Schmeling can't find the handle. The ball's a little late getting there. And coverage that time is coming over and trying to make the play defensively. Maybe getting just a hand up was DeCory McGee, one of the linebackers.
Yeah, the Cougar faithful wanted a pass interference call that time, and they are not going to get it. The head lineman was there along with the back judge right in that tight corner. And it was interesting. Again, that is a halfback, reverse pass, little trickeration that time. If he would have looked to the backside right, Crable was open in the end zone.
I thought that's what was coming up.
Exactly.
This will be a 23-yard straight-on attempt by Gavin Gardner, the hero of last week with a record-setting day, 4 field goals, including the 26-yard winner. This one will be from 23 yards out. High snap, never got it down. There was a whistle right. And let's see what we have going on here. They were coming through, Sean.
A delay game.
5-yard penalty. We play 4th down.
Boy, DJ Johnson was coming through there and might have had a chance at a block, so maybe in the way that penalties at least gives Gardner another opportunity. So now that'll move the ball back, and it becomes basically about a 28-yard field goal, still dead on. Gardner measures it out to his left, waiting for the snap. Nepper the hold. Right-footed kick is on the way. It's got the distance, and good. So 28 yards. Gardner again, 5 straight if you go back to last week. And points on the board. USF up 24-0, and will step out. This is Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. Cougars with 24 first-half points. They've been a little bit of a scoring drought the last several weeks. But coming in, Sean averaging 33 points a ball game. Scored 22 last week, given up 17.7. Gave up 19 last week, and so far today, throwing a shutout against Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, and I think, Joe, from this perspective, what's going to be better? Is it going to be the shutout, or is it going to be getting that seasonal average? They've got an opportunity for both. The defense has been solid all year, so I think they want to get more points on the board. Kickoff
this time goes deep into the end zone, and it will be 1st and 10 for Missouri Baptist with 24.8 seconds remaining. Kevin Donnelly was talking about that. He said, it's not necessarily the points that are the issue. He's looking for consistency. He's looking to build confidence in his offense, and it's been kind of lurchy the last 3 or 4 weeks, really going back to the St. X game.
Right, yeah, it certainly has. And the standard playbook that they have to make that work. These are what the kids practice day in and day out, and they have to execute 100% all the time.
Isaiah King is wide to the right side. They will run the ball, and a little bit of a room across the 30-yard line, and that will be Chris Baldwin, who they'll keep the clock running. You reach the 33, but that's going to probably be the final snap. We're down to 10 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, Baldwin's
are trying to maybe get one more off, but they've got to hurt. No, they won't have a chance.
No.
So we're down to 2, we're down to 1, and it'll be halftime here at Darcy Stadium. 24-0 USF. After that improbable but possible comeback effort last week against Siena Heights, now needing still to run the table, but so far in the first 30 minutes of this football game, all is well for USF. And look at that American flag across the way, almost straight out.
It's whipping. It surely is.
Big time win, but St. Francis on top here at the break, 24-0, and we'll be back with our halftime presentation. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana. And who is our halftime sponsor? Crown Construction?
Shawnee.
Gotcha.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the USF Marching Pride performs 3 tunes selected by our senior class. Our seniors have chosen 3 of their favorite arrangements performed by the USF Marching Pride during their time here. Our first comes from our Elton John Farewell Tour, show from earlier this year. Released in 1972, this is Crocodile Rock.
Welcome back to Bishop John M. Darcy Stadium with Sean McBride. I'm Joe Parson. Started out today 54 degrees, sunny skies. And clouds starting to build up a little bit, and look out, they say, to the north, because sometime in the second half we expect the clouds to lead to rain, but hopefully we can get this game in. And they're saying even that little bit of snow coming up into Fort Wayne later on tonight. I don't think they expect accumulation, but we don't want that. We don't. It's been so beautiful here today. Big wind, though. Crosswind starting at about out of the west at 15 miles an hour, but really has not stopped USF with the objective trying to feed on that dramatic overtime victory last week against Siena Heights. Gavin Gardner has chipped in with another field goal today that capped a run of 24 straight points as he hit the 28-yard field goal just before halftime. But it all started today with a 5-yard touchdown pass from Crable to Rocky James at the 11-12 mark, throwing it over the middle. Gardner would add the first of 3 extra points, 7-0 USF. Then they would get the ball down late with just over 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. P.J. Dean would literally walk into the end zone, a play that was designed to go up the middle. Hole wasn't there. P.J. said, you know what, I'll just take a little walk off to the right side and untouched into the end zone to make it 14-0. Then with a muff punt by the Missouri Baptist Spartans, Cougars recovered it on the 28-yard line of the Spartans. That would set up a Matt Crable to Will Chrisman touchdown pass, good for 5 yards at the 5:07 mark. Gardner would make it 21-0. Then a 4th down stop by USF defense. They would take over the football, and they would end with a 28-yard field goal by Gavin Gardner at the 8-second mark. That was set up by a nice catch inside the 10 by Dan Rixey. And that's where we are here at halftime as part of our Shawnee Construction halftime show. And Sean, I think all in all, Kevin Downey's got to be pleased with what he's seen.
Yeah, I hope so. When you go down and talk to him coming up when they come out of the tunnel, I think we'll probably get that feeling from him. They seem to be firing on all cylinders. Not really a whole lot of mistakes made by St. Francis here. And so, yeah, I think they might have wanted some more third down conversions possibly, but they seem to be firing on all cylinders. The special teams play has been really quite good today, again with a fumble recovery off of the punt, and pinning the Missouri Baptist offense back deep, winning the field position battle so far in the first half. So yeah, I think he's going to be pleased.
You always look at certain keys in a football game. You want to minimize your penalties, but you're looking at turnovers. Do you have the edge in that department? Sometimes a good team can survive the turnover deficit if it happens. But today I think USF is, playing on all cylinders. They're hitting on all cylinders. They've capitalized on turnovers and they lead at 24-0. Let's take a time out. The Cougar Marching Pride entertaining here on the last regular season home game. Will the Cougars be back in the playoffs if they make the playoffs? And all of that yet to be decided in the next 3 weeks. We'll take a break. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM. Pretty good.
Debuting the USF Marching Pride in fall 2016 and traveling to Daytona Beach, Florida in 2016 and 2017 to cheer on our back-to-back NAIA National Champion football team. Dr. Kandau would especially like to thank our senior class for their diligence and leadership in developing the culture of the band program on the campus of the University of St. Francis. Our final selection of our senior class's favorite music comes from the 2017 season opener halftime show. Composed by John Williams, see how many teams you can identify as USF Marching Pride. Perform selection from Star Wars.
Football fans, Redeemer Radio would like to thank our halftime sponsor, Shawnee Construction and Engineering. They are a full-service construction firm that meets and exceeds expectations. With a 94% repeat and referral business, when they say partnering for a lifetime, they mean it. That's Shawnee Construction and Engineering.
Cougar Marching Pride, a little rendition of Star Wars down there on the field. We saw Star Wars last week. Sean, the reason I made that comment about turnover margin, because you never really know. You look the last week's game against the Saints, USF was -3 in turnover margin, yet won the game in overtime. So it doesn't always tell the tale, but you feel a lot better when you're +3.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's really what championship teams do, is they turn those turnovers into points or advantages throughout the game that lead to a victory. And so St. Francis, again, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast. It was the best episode of The Twilight Zone I'd ever seen.
Well, the other game's going on, the one that everybody in the Mid-States is going to be watching. It kicked off right about 1 o'clock. It's Concordia, ranked number 10. They're down at Indianapolis, taking on the Marion Knights, ranked number 2. Remember, it was a year ago that Concordia at home in Ann Arbor upset the Knights, really kept them from a higher playoff position.
Right.
And, that's a marked, well, they're all marked, especially when you look at top 10 ranked teams, but that's a big one today, to say the least.
Oh, indeed, absolutely. Circle dates on the calendar abound, and again, Marion has a big bullseye on their back. Again, when these other teams and coaches look at those teams and their performance throughout the season, they're a marked team.
Looking ahead to next weekend, how about bringing us up to date on the high school situation with both Bishop Luers and Bishop Dwenger? Both won last night.
Both had convincing wins, and we're going to be catching the high-flying offense from Bishop Luers next week as they travel to West Noble. So we will have that game here on Redeemer Radio. Pregame should be about 6:50, 6:55, something like that. And the Saints also had a convincing victory against the Berries down in Logansport. Beautiful facility down there, artificial field, and just a wonderful, good, hospitable place. And so they will be taking on Leo.
Now I've got a question for you, because both Concordia and Bishop Dwenger won last night, and who's home?
Well, that's the great question. That's and who wants to play there is the other question. I don't know. It will be interesting to see if in fact Zollner Field is utilized, or where Bishop Dwenger would be playing. I didn't have a chance last night. We got in late, about 11:30, 12 o'clock from Logansport. And every year, they flip-flop those rules, whether you're on top or on the bottom, and who won and who was away. So I would just tell our football fans, stay close. We know we're going to be at Bishop Luers, but the Dwenger Saints, who knows? Maybe they could be here at USF. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I'm sure. We had the Wayne game last night at Southside. I asked Derek Moore, the coach of the Generals, that they've had some problems scoring points in the second half. And I said, Coach, what's going on? He looked at me, he says, no grass.
Yeah.
And a lot of these fields are just, seems like we've had rain week after week, and it's taking a toll because most of the SAC fields are all grass, or they started out that way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I would love to see Foreman Community, and again, our private schools, there's an artificial field on site at Bishop Dwenger, even though that's not their home team. So then, long term, could there be stands put up there or an investment made at Zollner? Again, we look at Spooler, we look at Wayne, we look at other areas around there.
They're all bad.
They're all bad. They are all bad. Yeah.
Not so bad here today, though, at Darcy Stadium. Cougars have got the lead at 24-0. We're going to take a timeout. Sean getting ready to make his way down at midfield. He'll be checking in with Kevin Donnelly. We've been handed the first half stats. We'll take a look at that and much more when we return. 24-0 USF trying to finish the regular season at home get their 6th win. We'll be back. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM Northeast, Indiana. Still got Bishop Lures, right? And B. Okay.
Gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Here on the field, representing Fort Financial is Dr. Michael Beechel, and the attempt to make a 5-yard field goal.
Back at Darcy Stadium, I'm Joe Parson. Let's take a look at some of the halftime numbers. First, looking at the team numbers, what a job St. Francis has done defensively on the Spartans. They've held them to a total of 78 yards in total offense in the first half. Cougars with 36 plays for 248. Now we'll break that down. Missouri Baptist 14 carries on the ground for net 33 yards only. And USF 22 carries, most of that by P.J. Dean for 117 on the ground. Matt Crable 131 through the air as Chris Brown has thrown for 45 yards in the first half. Now we look at some of the other numbers. Cougars, there have been no interceptions, I believe. There have not in this first half. But one fumble lost on that fumble return by Missouri Baptist, so USF is +1 through the first 30 minutes in that particular category. Penalties, that's a big issue, though. Despite the score, the 24-0 lead, USF with 7 penalties for 91 yards in that first half. So that's shades of where we were about 3-4 weeks ago. Meanwhile, just 1 against the Spartans for 12 yards. Cougars have converted on 5 of 8 third down chances. Missouri Baptist just 1 of 5, and St. Francis 3 for 3 in red zone scores. Now let's break it down individually. As USF with P.J. Dean, 14 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Crable, 4 carries, 42 yards. Dan Jackson, 1 for 15. Schmeling, a couple of carries. And for Missouri Baptist, Chris Baldwin, 7 carries for net 25. Kendall Davis has had 1 carry for 5 yards, and Chase Brown on some scramble situations, 6 carries for a net gain of 3 yards. Brown through the air for Missouri Baptist, 4 of 9 for 45 yards. He's been sacked once. Matt Crable, 11 of 13. Great efficiency by Matt in the first half. 131 through the air, 2 touchdowns, and no sacks. That's a big category right there. Receiving, Rocky James, 3 catches, 38 yards. He's got a touchdown. P.J. Dean, 3 catches, 8 yards. Dylan Hunley has been big again. He leads USF in receiving yards with 43 on 2 carries, along of 23. And Will Chrisman also with 2 catches for 11 yards, and he has a touchdown. For the Spartans, Isaiah King, 2 catches for a total of 18 yards. Sergio Lopez, 1 for 19. And Anthony Taylor with 1 catch for 8 yards. Dominic Demarath with 2 punts in the first half. He's had a long of 51. He's averaging over 42 yards a punt. Joe Nepper with 2 punts and averaging 35.5 per punt with a long of 38 yards. Defensively, it's Marcus Stepp leading the way with 5 tackles, 1 for loss for St. Francis. Pearson Harnish with 4 tackles. Nick Lucas has got 3. Matt Swartz with 3 tackles and 1 sack and 1 tackle for loss. As far as the Spartans, Michael Malone leads them with 5 tackles, and actually tied with Jalen Cowley with 5 tackles. Cowley also 1 for loss. Joe Moronis with 4 tackles. Colin Thomas also with 4 tackles here in the first half. So we wait for the teams, the specialists coming out for USF. Still just over 5 minutes remaining until the start of the second half. Sean McBride down there waiting for Coach D to come out, and we'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more in our halftime presentation. 24-0 Cougars, and this is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM. Back at Darcy Stadium, I'm Joe Parson. Glad you could join us today for this Cougar regular season home football finale here. Here's a fast fact about Bishop Luers High School. Bet you didn't know that since 1958, Bishop Luers has proclaimed the gospel and excelled in academics, sports, and performing arts. Join us as we thank God for 60 years of Catholic education. Spartans beginning to come out, and we're getting some of the silver and blue coming out from under the tunnel as well. We expect to see Coach Kevin Donnelly joining his team coming onto the field, getting ready for the start of the second half. Clouds continuing to build up to the north, Sean, and we're hoping we can get this one in and get out of here before the wet stuff arrives. They tell us winds accompanying of 20-25 mile winds, and it's not going to get any better. Let's started out so beautiful here with not a cloud to be seen, sunny skies, and little by little the clouds beginning to well up. Cougar football team coming out, and Coach D's are up ready to join Sean McBride. And let's go down and check in with them. Yeah, it's only going to get worse, and we'll see you back up here in the press box as Sean McBride's had a busy day up and down these stadium steps, and that's going to make him or break him. We'll take another timeout as we get ready for the start of the second half. Cougars on top 24-0, trying to rise upwardly in the polls if they can. They'd love to get back in the top 10 before the end of the regular season. 24-0 our score. Cougar football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM. Back at Darcy Stadium, we are just moments away from the second half kickoff. Spartans, after today, they return home to St. Louis, and they've got 3 regular season home games remaining in their schedule. First up next week, they'll take on Trinity International next Saturday. Then it'll be Marion coming down to St. Louis, and following that, it'll be Taylor University. Cougars with 2 road games remaining. And next Saturday we'll be at Lindenwood Belleville in the St. Louis area. That's just across the Mississippi River on the Illinois side of things. And then 2 weeks from today we'll be at in Upland, Indiana against Taylor University. Sean McBride ready to join us. Cougars will kick it away from right to left. Interesting that Missouri Baptist won the toss, deferred. They'll get the ball to start the second half, and what's ironic about that is Kevin Donnelly told me, we want to win the toss, we want the ball.
Yeah, lost the toss and still got the ball. So there we go. Well, again, this is the opening drive of the third quarter is typically a statement drive for both squads, whether you're on offense or defense. And again, with a goose egg on the scoreboard for Missouri, they're going to have to get it in gear here to start the second half.
Gardner flexing that left leg and getting ready to kick it away now from right to left, and we'll check the winds. You were down there at field level. You thought it was noticeably increasing, right?
Oh, indeed, yeah. If you look, there's some tassels stringing the tunnel coming out there, and they are almost horizontal.
And becoming more out of the north-northwest.
Yep.
There's a ball hanging up. It will get into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, so it'll be Missouri Baptist with the ball. And Gardner got a lot of that into the wind.
Yeah, that's a big leg.
It did tail to the right, caught by the wind. But now we'll see the offense for the Spartans. As we mentioned, Sean, I'll give this back to you, but one of the big stats from my perspective, St. Francis defense held them just 78 total yards of offense, but check the penalties.
Yeah.
91 yards against St. Francis in that first half alone.
Yikes. Yeah, definitely going to have to clean some things up there.
Isaiah King in wide to the far side. He had 2 catches for 18 yards. Ryan Johnson's got the coverage on him. Read option. Here is hit as he threw, and no chance on that pass. Well, I mean, Malachi Mannion was there, and they're high-fiving with Jamasic as they just said, why don't you take a little breather here, Chase Brown, and sit down.
And he did. He laid there for a little while just trying to catch his breath. He took a shot right to the chops, and he's going to feel that one and remember that hit.
Second down and 10. Brown has gone all the way so far in this ball game. Big offensive line, young but big. They average 298 a man tackle to tackle. Now they got a new number in there, part of their wide out. They spread the field 2 wide either side of the field, short drop, and Brown throws the home. He's got a man wide open down there, but that ball sailed on him. Looking at that was Isaiah King. Somehow he escaped. Was all by his lonesome out there around midfield.
Yeah, Jalen Moss was coming over from his defensive back position, but if in fact that ball was on target, that would have been a great catch. Again, we see that the Missouri Baptist going over the top to start the contest here in the third quarter, and 2 incomplete passes unsuccessful.
And interesting that Moss immediately ran to the sidelines and left the game. So now it's third down and 10. Spartans trying to reach the 35. Stepping up, and they've got him for a sack. That was Marcus Stepp that tripped him up enough.
That's exactly right. And then curling in also was Jamasic from his defensive line position there. So again, they bring the kitchen sink on the blitz. It pays off. No pocket, and now 4th and forever. They're on to punt.
Dan Rixey back at punt return. He's got 5 punt returns coming into the ballgame. 1 last week for just 6 yards. Demarath back inside the 5. Needs a good snap here. Waits at the 2. Cougars with 9 men up on the line of scrimmage, trying to put the pressure on. Here's the delivery. And the kick is blocked.
My gosh.
That's going to come down to about the 21-yard line. And who was that got in there?
That was number 85 for the Cougars that time. That is Jay Siegel. We've talked about him already, having a great job on special teams.
Comes over, gets high fives from a lot of his teammates, the silver and blue. And again, one of those little things that we've talked about going back last week, all the things that had to happen a week ago for USF to win, and did. And now the little things today with a blocked punt and USF off the offense at inside the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
It's so easy to forget the special teams play because they're not featured often on the field, but boy, that was huge.
Crable now sets up. Works from the right side hash mark. Looks to hand it off. P.J. Dean looking for running room. Taking tacklers down to the 20-yard line. That's the hard way as he picks up about 7 yards.
They could do that on every play, and they'd be very happy. I would imagine Dean doing a fine job just creeping along that backside wall and finding that seam and getting a good 7 yards.
So USF trying to capitalize on that block punt. They've got it now. 2nd down, and let's call it 4. Dylan Humley splits wide in the slot to the right side. Rixey split wide of him. Rocky James to the short side to the left. Here's Crable, looks, play action fake, being pursued. Now throws back left side. Dean, a little wide of him. P.J. Dean couldn't find it.
Yeah, was not there, off target a little bit. And again, I love the play as he wheeled out there, kind of unsuspecting. And he turned into the primary target that time, but they just could not connect.
Yeah, the influence was to the right, and Matt disguised it perfectly.
Yeah.
P.J. Dean was open back around the 10-yard line, but they just could not get the connections right. Now Crable looks over his shoulder. It's going to reset P.J. Dean off to the right. Call is in on the wing to the left side. Crable looking to throw, and throws it low, but the catch is made at the 15-yard line, and that was Will Chrisman. That good job of going down and covering and protecting that football.
First and 10 for the Cougars that time. Again, a timing route there, and Crable threw it where only his receiver could go down and scoop it up. Probably would have liked a little more loft on that ball, but he couldn't. He just had to gun it in there, and it was good. So 1st and 10.
Yeah, I was afraid from our angle. Looked like the ball's going to hit the turf.
Right.
But Will did a good job of getting down and keeping it for a catch. Now motion back to the left side. Here's the counter run. P.J. Dean up the middle, cuts to the right side, escapes once, fights his way inside the 10, got down close to the 9.
Boy, the defense, they're young and scrappy, and did they ever bite on that first fake? And again, give to Dean, and he had wide open up the gut running lanes right there, and he made it pay for a gain of 6, maybe 7.
Kyle May checks out, and Casey Call comes in. Call will set up on the left wing. Chrisman is in, split to the short side to the left. Again, one-on-one coverage out here near side as Crable play action fake, rolls right, dumps it off. There's Call. Casey Call will score. Touchdown USF at the 12-10 mark. That's a 8-yard touchdown, and the Cougars on the board once again.
Cole just released from his block, a little up and out. They let the pressure come in, and he dumped it right over the top, and he was able to scamper in for a nice little score that time. Beautifully executed, not only from the line, but also the quarterback, Crable, and Cole was wide open, and he took it to the house.
How about that? He had only one catch coming in, Casey Call, and his first touchdown, obviously, this year to make it 30-0. And now that's
number 47.
Is that Gracia? Let's check it. Yeah, it is Brandon Gracia with the extra point. So it will make it 31-0.
I think he might have missed that one, Joe.
That?
Yeah, he did miss that.
So no good. Usually we'd see Gardner out there, but you never know. I guess Kevin Donnelly just trying to take some precautions for what lays ahead in these games. But it remains 30-0. That's the first thing that's really gone wrong for USF today. Going to keep things right here. And let's see who kicks off. It looks like, we'll see who comes out.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, one of the things, listening as you were talking about the halftime stats during that halftime break there, Joe, as I was making my way down on the field, a great job of distribution by Crable to find, James, Dean, Hunley, Chrisman, and of course now again a touchdown pass to Casey Cole. So Chrisman doing Crable doing a great job of ball distribution through the air to a lot of guys.
You know, Sean, just to follow up your point, by the way, it is Gardner back on there to kick away now, but not just trickery, but just a lot of creativity in the sets, things we haven't seen a lot of. Driving kick, and that one will get into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback once again. Cozy thought about trying to grab that one, but was sailing just before it got to him with the wind, and said, you know what, I'm just going to pull the hands down and we'll take the ball upfield 1st and 10.
And again, with these wins, again, that's 2 very impressive kickoffs by Gardner, getting them into the end zone and not allowing a return from Missouri Baptist.
So the Spartans have it at their own 25-yard line. Malachi Mannion just coming into the ball game late, and he'll set up on the right side. Ryan Johnson's got the coverage out there on one corner, now backing off a little bit as they'll run the ball, and here is Baldwin just bowls his way ahead across the 25 up to the 28.
Yeah, strict dive that time inside the inside run of the tackle that time. It really kind of impressive considering they got 3, maybe 4 yards out of that, as there were 5 down linemen for St. Francis.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
We got Mannion on the right side, and then Stepp lined up on the line on the left as well.
Matt Swartz in the middle. Yeah, I think that's McClendon out there as well. The other tackle, Sergio Lopez, little motion resetting. Here is Brown looking to throw, taking a lot of time, and he's swarmed upon yet again. Cougars coming once again, and Jamisic getting up off the bottom of the pile.
Jamisic was there along with Jamal Jackson, number 56, the sophomore linebacker from Cathedral, doing a great job on the blitz. Came right up the gut and nailed him.
Loss is back to the 21-yard line now. Those are the football just inside the Spartan 21 here, so it'll be 3rd down and long. In that first half on 3rd down situations, they were just 1 of 5. Clock moves inside 11 minutes. Spartans trying to reach their own 35 on this snap. King splits wide to the right side. 1 wide to the short side to the left as well. Pistol alignment, they'll run the play action fake, and that did not work. 3 silver and blue helmets were there, including Marcus Stepp yet again.
Just took way too long. They were trying to get it done. Good job by the defense flowing to that ball ever so fast, and they didn't have a prayer on that one.
It's interesting what sticks out to me, Sean. They've given up 21 sacks coming into this ball game, but none last week against Concordia in Ann Arbor. That's a team that USF, they gave up 10 sacks against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Now Demarath 2 yards deep has got to punt it again. His last one was blocked to set up the field goal. And again, 9 men up, and here comes the rush. Kickers away, end over end short. It'll hit at the 35. Takes a bounce, got by Rixey, picks it up on the run, gets by 1, cuts back to his right, got a block, cuts to the 40, 35, 30, directing traffic's got a chance to score inside the 10 to the 5, and Dan Rixey has done it with a punt return. And that one good for what, about 41 yards?
Yeah, I'd say it was about 41, Joe. Just a tremendous job. Boy, these special teams are on fire. Not only guys we don't normally talk about, but guys like Dan Rixey back there, the sure-handed field general, barking out orders as he's running downfield. Did a great job of reversing field that time and taking it back on the right hash mark and gets into the house. That was exciting.
Grasha on with a chance for redemption. We had another Grasha here some years ago, Tommy Grasha. Here's Brandon Grasha with a right-footed kick. This one looks better and is. So add 1 to the Cougar total, 37-0 USF on top. Trying to move up in the polls from number 12. And we'll be back with more. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
And that Cougar touchdown was brought to you by Midwest America Federal Credit Union.
Well, going back in the 21 history of the University of St. Francis, Sean McBride, we saw some punt returns for touchdowns back in the early years. You got to go back some, 13 years, the 2005, the last time USF returned a punt for a touchdown. And it was a young man out of Carroll High School by the name of Andy Papagiannis. In 2005, returned one for a touchdown. Of course, Andy Papagiannis will always remain in Cougar football laurels. He was part of that 2003 end of the game play on a blocked field goal. It was a live ball. He returned it, and it went for a touchdown with no time remaining. Here's a kick again. Missouri Baptist, no part of that. They'll take the touchback and come out 1st and 10 at their 25.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row, and Gardner is really just being quite the weapon here to start the third quarter. And boy, oh boy, no return on the table for Missouri Baptist. They're really struggling here throughout the entire contest, but really obvious here in the start of the second half.
And Sean, he's kind of overpowering the wind.
Yes, he is.
Well, now it seems to be swirling a bit out of the southwest. Deep handoff. Here's Baldwin looking for running room, and now the Cougars are really flexing their defensive muscles. Nothing there, no gain, maybe just across the 25 for Baldwin. That's it.
And you have to think about, the health of the Cougars with the postseason right around the corner. How long are we going to see the number ones in there? Still in there right now as Stepp is out there and a few of the other starters. But we might see some more clean jerseys being trickled in here as the third quarter winds on.
Yeah, I think your point's well taken. The shutout is nice, but you want to keep people healthy. No Justin Green today. No Jordan May today. A lot of others banged up. Now it's 2nd down and 9. Now a little motion. As Brown wants motion, they just ignore him. And he'll hand the ball off. Baldwin looking for running room. Angles to his left, short of the 30. Knocked down to Adam just across the 28. I've never seen that before where a quarterback motioning 2-3 times and everybody just looks at him.
He's looking at him.
Me,
yeah, no, he must be talking to somebody else because I'm not moving. So, again, I don't know if that was a planned jet sweep fake, but, again, they give to the tailback, and he finds a few up the middle. Really not much there, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Spartans needing 6, trying to reach their own 35 on this snap. Players come in, players go out, including Taylor and Henderson. Still huddled up. Play clock shows 11. Now the Spartans hurry out. Isaiah King into the short side to the left. Ryan Johnson's got the coverage on him. And he may have double coverage out there. Here's a blitz coming up the middle, and a quick throw. Sergio Lopez has got it knocked down, but he's got the first down across the 35 to the 36.
Well, he paid for that when Dutton came in just a second too late, got to the quarterback, but just as he released the ball. So good pitch and catch that time by Missouri Baptist. Moves the chains. I believe that might be their first down of the second half.
Yeah, they are happy with anything positive at this point, down 37-0. Clock moves inside of 8 minutes, time remaining in this third quarter. Looking more to our left out of the north. Clouds starting to get dark.
Yeah, they used to be white. Now there's certainly a lot of gray overhead.
Started out no clouds, but that has changed in a hurry. Empty backfield now. And here's Brown, steps up, throws as far as he can. He's got Isaiah King, and there's got to be a flag there.
Yeah.
And there will be. Although I did not see the back judge throw one.
No, I think they're going to flag Moss on pass interference there.
Yeah, when you're holding on to a sleeve, generally that is going to catch somebody's eyes in stripe. Tom Burns, our referee today, pass interference against USF, had 91 yards in penalties against St. Francis in the first half.
And let's see, this one is going to be taken over into USF territory.
Yeah, that'll move it across midfield to the St. Francis 48.
Another first here in the second half.
Now Roosevelt Henderson checks in, part of a 3-wide package to the left. And shotgun formation once again as Baldwin looks that way, or Brown I should say. Now loads up, then fires one out there, and that one just kind of sailed on him as well. Trying to run a little post corner road out there, but nothing there for Zach McBride.
No, Schumacher was out there along with Stan Jackson as well. So great coverage by the Cougars, but the ball again just sailed. And we see the Missouri Baptist team going for these big 10 to 15 yard throws. And earlier on in the contest, they were pretty successful moving with the slants and the hitches.
It always amazes me when you look at teams, how they deal with weather conditions, whether it's rain, maybe a muddy field. Some teams handle it very well.
Yep.
Some teams can't do anything. Same way with the wind. Crable's working with the wind. Here's a play action fake, and boy, he had to get rid of that, just threw it away. Pressure was coming again on Chase Brown, and he's slow getting up.
Yeah, Jamesich that time came in and just blew him up. He threw that ball away out of self-preservation. That was really kind of a
I am sorry, that is Gunnar Griffin in there.
Oh, okay.
Passer was outside.
Okay, so no grounding. That's what he was trying to get across over the PA system. No intentional grounding as the receiver was in the vicinity.
Gunnar Griffin is that 6'1" senior we talked about earlier. He's been in somewhat a backup role, but he has thrown for 466 yards.
And it looks like he's heading out.
So let's see, it's going to be Chase Brown that comes back in.
He's going to have a seat on the bench. He might have tweaked an arm, it looked like. As he was running out, he didn't have, he had that one arm held directly down his side, so he might have gotten tweaked.
Looks like he's also tying a shoelace. Let's hope that's just the nature of the problem. Here is Brown now being pursued, throws up the left side. He's got a man out there, and the ball fought for, and it's caught. That's Isaiah King, took it away from Ryan Johnson. He's down inside the 10-yard line.
And a flag. Yep, that's going to be taunting. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct against number 12 for Missouri, as he was trash talking after that throw.
That is King. Ball is right now sitting at the 12 is where they spotted. Officials are conferring.
That's what I saw. Let's see if in fact that is accurate.
Tom Burns will let us know here momentarily as the conference between the stripes is done, and they will render their decision to referee Tom Burns, and he in turn will let us know. But not quickly.
No, no, they're going to take their time. Unsportsmanlike.
And it goes, as you suspected, against Isaiah King.
Yeah, he was standing over the defender looking down at him, and you could tell from his body posture that his lips were moving.
So instead of having it at the 12-yard line of St. Francis, the penalty moves it back. Well, there's still...
should be the 27, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And the clock will move now. It'll move inside of 7 minutes before this snap. 37-0 USF on top. King stays in. Wide to the short side to the left. One wide to the right. They'll run the football. Here's Baldwin. And fights his way down to about the 21-yard line.
Nice little off-tackle run that time. Baldwin again picking up 4 to 6 yards per run. And this one looks to be splitting in the middle at about 5.
Marcus Stepp credited for getting in there. They're going to move that ball and spot it right around just inside the 22-yard line. Now, one wide either side of the field. Tight ends are in, and Brown looks to hand that Baldwin, trying to go off tackle, cuts it up inside the 20, got another yard and a half inside the 19-yard line.
Again, tough yards that time, trying to find his way through the middle. Not really a whole lot there, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Spartans huddling up once again as Chase Brown takes a look to the far sidelines.
Well, they're inside the red zone here too, Joe. They've got to be happy about that.
King is in, split wide to the short side to the left. That's been an interesting matchup today. And again, the read option, straight ahead carry, and close to a first down. Depends on the spot, around the 17. And let's see if they've got enough. Baldwin that time really attacked the, it looks like he's short by about maybe less than a yard.
He really lunged. He left his feet as soon as he hit that line, just trying to push his way forward.
Ball is marked just beyond the 17-yard line, so it'll be 4th down and a yard. And will they come up with some kind of trickery, or will they run Chris Baldwin yet again? Here's Brown, looks to throw the ball across the middle, and it is caught inside the 5, and they'll have 1st and goal on Isaiah King's catch.
Well, again, the quarterback, number 10, Chase Brown, paid for it, but he put the ball right on the money on the slant to the wide receiver coming in towards the seam, and it was a successful catch and a 1st and goal now coming up for Missouri.
Jaden Williams, the big right tackle, a freshman at 368, came up limping, but tell you what, trying to tough it out, hurries up back to the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal. Here's Baldwin. No, it's a keeper run by Chase Brown and nudges toward the goal line. Touchdown.
Yeah, a little read option that time. Quarterback decides he rips it out of the hands of Baldwin and decides to take it up inside left, and he was able to dance through and get into the end zone.
So the shutout is averted at the 4:47 mark. Touchdown, Missouri Baptist, 2 yards by Chase Brown, his second rushing touchdown of the season. And now they will bring on Ethan Metzler. Very good kicker for the Spartans. Came in 11 of 11 on extra points this year, 3 of 6 from field goal range. Has a long of 29, 1 blocked field goal. A high snap, right-footed kick is on the way, and it is good. So it'll be 37-7 with 4:47 remaining in this third quarter, and we'll step out. Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM.
Simple, transparent, reliable. Simple. Our customer specialists make buying a car easy and fun. Transparent. Our price listed is the best price. No hassle, no gimmicks. Reliable. Buy with confidence and peace of mind. We work hard to ensure the best value however you shop. Choose from over 60 vehicles under $10,000. Visit drivekelly.com. The Kelly Automotive Group. Simple, transparent, reliable.
This is the first time
Wanted to get into the end zone in the worst way and does run it in there for the score for the Spartans. That'll make it 37-7, and we just heard in the update from Indianapolis, second quarter score finds Marion on top of visiting Concordia at 20-7.
Yeah. And again, back here at Darcy Stadium, the Missouri Baptist squad does a fine job, even overcoming some adversity there. They had an unsportsmanlike 15-yard penalty, still able to make a play and punch one in. So hats off to them here in the third quarter.
Ball blows off the tee. They're going to need a holder now for Metzler to kick it away. Stan Jackson is back in kick return. Mr. Excitement has a hell of a chance backing up. And he's got it around the 6-yard line. Starts left, cuts right up the middle. Explodes, cuts to his left. Nice move, and spun around across the 30-yard line. And I tell you what, he is just a whirly dervish with that football.
He is fun to watch, isn't he? Boy, he just creates a lot of excitement and a lot of opportunities down there with the ball in his hands.
Mr. Bling. He is full of energy. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. So nice 25-yard return there for Stan Jackson.
No, he reminds me of Charles Gaston a little bit as far as that excitement, that enthusiasm he brings to the football game. So now it's back to work for USF, working from right to left. Matt Crable out of the pistol, 2 wide to his right. As the snap, looks to hand it off. That's Martell Williams, I believe, in there, getting the call.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe one there as he got his legs taken out from underneath him as the play really never developed. But he was able to fall forward, which is good.
Martell Williams coming in. He is a 5'10 sophomore, 17 carries, 90 yards. He is averaging over 5 yards a carry and has 1 rushing touchdown. He'll be offset to the left side for Crable now. 2nd down and 9. Same set, 2 wide to the right. Short drop, looking to throw back near side. That's a low and wide pass, incomplete. Looking for Kamakewicz here on the near sideline, and suddenly it's 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, it was a low burner that time. I think he tried to keep it out of the stratosphere, just keep it out of that wind, but it was too low. Kamakewicz went down, but was not able to pick it up, and he will step out for a little break.
Kyle May will bring the play in as well from the near side bench. He'll set up on the right wing. Dylan Hunley stays up slot right, and Rixey wide of him. Got to get out to the 41 now on this snap for Crable. Looks, rolls right. He's got plenty of time. Pulls it down, throws again. Catch is made. That's Hunley just beyond the 1st down stick at the 42.
Great patience on display that time by Crable to find Hunley as he was crossing over. Got a little bit of separation. It was just enough, and he was able to hit him right in stride while running. So a nice athletic play by the quarterback to hit Hunley for a 1st and 10.
You know, Dylan Hunley had 2 catches last week and a big one on 4th down and 17 that kept the hopes alive for St. Francis in that comeback victory. Now it's 1st and 10, improving field position at the 42. Low snap. Crable screens the ball. He's got a catch right side. Now a run up towards midfield to the 49. Martell Williams with his first pass reception of the year.
Yeah, a little design screen that time, and it works just fine. That was exactly what they were hoping to get out of that. Would like to see the ball a little bit higher that time, so Crable has an easier time setting up that screen.
Maybe a little quicker, too.
Yeah.
May stays in. He'll be tight to the right side now. Bunch line up to the left, the wide side of the field on 2nd down and 4. A little different lineup now. And Missouri Baptist, they're pointing out, moving late. They're a little bit confused by what they're seeing, but a long count by Crable. Looks, play action fake. Wants to throw. It throws to a spot. Rocky James has got it. Gives ground back to the 45 and hauled down, but he's got a first down right there at the Spartan 45.
Yeah, looks to be about a gain of 13. Takes it into Missouri Baptist territory. And again, he was looking for more yards after the catch, so he's not satisfied just to grab that ball and call it a catch. He's always looking downfield, trying to get some separation and some yards after the catch.
And Sean, you continue to see the chess match going up. We saw a formation really we've not seen before. And the Spartans, where they were darting around in and out and just really confused, trying to figure out who's got who on the assignments.
Right.
Hunley up on the slot to the right side. Rixey splits wide of him. James wide to the short side. And here is the play action fake, and Crable steps up, out of room now, runs to the 40. Straight arms one, out of bounds at the 35. That's right at the, well, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 36, and he's a yard short.
Had 3 deep back there for the Missouri Baptist defense, including someone playing center field, so no real chance to get that ball off.
Yeah, Eric Taylor back there. He's a freshman, and he's the lone safety again on 2nd down and 1. A lot of options for Crable, and he takes a look at that Spartan defense, looks to Martell Williams, starts right, cuts left, drags tacklers down to the 32, 1st and 10.
That's what they needed him to do. Again, on that little counter, he starts right and shifts back left following that push-out block, and it's great. It's a good run. Another first down. They keep the drive alive with 1.5 to go and counting here in the 3rd quarter.
I think earlier I said Martell Williams, a sophomore, but actually he's a freshman out of Lawrence North High School in Indianapolis. Nate Carson now comes into the ball game. He'll be wide to the right side. Trips package out there to the right of Matt Crable on 1st and 10. Matt looks to hand it off. Deep handoff. Here's Martell Williams. Powers his way off. Tackle down inside the 30 to the 26.
Great job that time. They spread the defense out a little ISO to the left side, and it hits. So again, we're getting some good numbers right there by Williams. He's in as a backup, but doing a fine job here in the 2nd quarter.
Sean, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this young man. I think he's got a huge upside for the Cougars running the football.
Well, he really does. He hits the hole nice and hard and has good vision. So that's the good building blocks to work from.
We are down to the final 40 seconds of this 3rd quarter, 37-7 USF. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Cougars work from the left side hash mark. And here's Crable again, short drop, looking, and checks off, being pursued. Penalty flags are thrown. Matt rolling out to the right side, throws the ball into the ground. That wind might have deflected that as he was looking for Hunley. And we'll see what the penalty flags are going to be about.
Yeah, I'm going to guess on a play that took that long to develop, with the pocket collapsing, that might be a hold against the Cougars.
Yeah, take your pick. A lot of times you see a legal man downfield too, like you say, when you're taking that long. And it does go against USF.
Yeah, a little holding call there. So that'll set them back 10. They don't need that.
St. Francis definitely going to be over 100 yards again in penalties this game.
Yeah, first half alone, it was 7 penalties for 91 yards.
Came in averaging 108, and that was a huge step up from previous weeks when, around 122, 125, something like that a game. Carson stays in. It is 2nd down, but with the loss, 2nd and 14 back at the 36. Win now, we'll see if it's more of a factor in the late going of this football game. They look to Martell Williams looking for a hole, and he finds it, dragging tacklers inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And there we see some really mature, that's a mature run that time. He didn't hit it really hard, but very patiently, trying to dance and weave his way through that line, and he did a fine job.
They'll mark it at the 29, so 39, and we will reach the end of the 3rd quarter. So the Cougars with a couple of touchdowns, Crable to Casey Call, and then the punt returned by Dan Rixey. But Chase Brown finally getting the Spartans on the board with a touchdown run. 37-7 after 3 quarters here at Darcy Stadium. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Copy. And just run spots as we need them. Here on out. Third down and 7 for St. Francis. We're back at Darcy Stadium. Empty backfield. Crable looks right, loads, fires. He's got Martell Williams, and he could not find the handle. He had a step, Sean, and he was inside the 3-yard line, would have scored easily.
I think there was a DB that got some fingers on that ball late, right before it was right in his breadbasket, and knocked that ball away a little bit, Joe. I couldn't really tell exactly, but I think that might have been deflected. But what a seam, what a route, and what a throw. Everything was there except the catch. Oh.
So the ball comes back to the 29. It'll be 4th down and 7, and the Cougars look like they're going to go for it as Rixey checked in, and now he's going to stay in the ball game wide to the right. That's the wide side of the field with Dylan Hunley in the slot. Crable with Martell Williams back there, wants to throw again and being pursued. Here's Crable's got to get rid of it, throws the ball, and that is there going to be contact?
Oh, you got to throw the flag.
Oh, they don't.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Boy, Komakevich can't believe, or is that Rixey?
It's Rixey, yeah.
So it'll be a 4th down stop.
Oh, my heavens.
Right in front of the official out there.
Yeah, he was coming back for the ball and was impeded to the ball by the defender. That was an obviously missed call. Oh, my heavens.
And he did not have his head turned around at all. Was strictly playing Rixey. So it'll be Spartans ball at their own 29-yard line.
That's a shock.
That's what gives Kevin Donnelly more gray hair.
Yep.
He said officiating, it's like the weather. You don't have any control over it.
Right.
Now here's Brown dropping time of the pocket. Then they ran out of time. Dropped back around the 25-yard line. Loss of 4.
Yeah, and you have to think the defense is going to feed off of that energy. The hometown fans here, the sidelines, everybody wanted that call, so the defense might be out there. They might be a little chippy now.
Justin Groves checks in now on the defensive front 4. Miles McClendon stays out there as well. 2nd down and 14. Clock is moving. Probably will run in close to inside of 14 minutes before the snap of the ball. Spartans still huddled up now, just coming up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock already down inside of 8. Chase Brown has scored a touchdown, the lone scorer. Cougars shift at the line of scrimmage, and here is a scramble again by Brown. Looking, has to just get rid of it, dump it away. Got outside the tackle box, so that will bring up 3rd down and 14.
Yeah, McClendon, geez, really, I'm keeping an eye on him as the nose tackle right there, number 82. He's doing a really good job providing a lot of pressure to that quarterback. Flushed him out of there, nothing was there, and he just had to dump it.
Yeah, we've been impressed the last several weeks. Miles McClendon, a young sophomore, and really emerging as a defensive force up front. 3rd down and 14. Trying to get out to the 39. Brown looks to screen. That one was nearly picked off, but a catch is made, and now they're going to run. That's Demarath did not get the first down. He's about 4 yards short. Came up and gave the indication 1st and 10. Sorry,
no,
but you're only at the 36. You had to get to the 39.
Yeah, maybe if you weren't facing a 3rd and 15, but no, that's going to bring on the punt team.
That is funny.
Yeah. Like his enthusiasm, but just a little off.
Years ago, in the first years, we had just a great guy. Magic Seversky was a punter for St. Francis, and on a 4th down play, scramble play, he runs and he comes up. He's looking at the down marker. He's going, Coach, 1st down. Comes off, and Coach grabs him and said, "That's the wrong down marker. That's the short one. You had to go 10 yards more."
Oh,
one of those crazy things. Here's a punt that goes out of bounds, and upfield around the USF 41 is where the Cougars will take over and going to package all these one of these days. And
that's right. You know, Joe, I think that punt went more sideways than it did down the field. The wind still being a real factor out of the northwest here, and that just took it and drove it sideways. And now St. Francis is going to have a short field position here on offense.
Yeah, the Cougars actually will have it at their own 45-yard line. Pretty much the same first-team offensive line is in there at the 13:01 mark. Still see Matt Crable in there.
But we do see Martell Williams back as the lone setback.
He is offset to the left of Crable, and Crable wants to throw. Here's Matt looking, steps up, pulls it down, scrambles, runs to the 50, to the 45, first and 10, 40, 35, 30, and out of bounds. And Matt Crable just thinking that meter's going, who's on me, and when do I need to get out of bounds to preserve life and limb?
Yeah, and I think he's got some really good intuition there. He got some backside pressure. He felt it. But again, as the zones clear out, Crable does a great job of deciding when to take that ball and just run. And what is there, a penalty?
They're going to mark it back at the 32. Nope, no, they just wind the clock for some inexplicable reason.
Well, where's the sticks? What's going on here?
Crable not sure what's going on either.
You can't wind the clock. The sticks aren't even. What's.
Yeah,
hang on.
There's a problem out there.
There is a problem here.
I think the chain broke.
Oh, is that what it was?
Because doesn't that look longer than 10 yards?
I don't know what's going on. The chains aren't even set, and St. Francis is running a play.
Williams trying to test the right side, got to the 30. That's it. Maybe we think a gain of 1. He started on the 32. That's bizarre.
That was just weird. Not only the chains, but the down marker were moving at the snap of that play, and yet everybody seems to be okay with it.
Yeah, Tom Burns, our referee, kept saying, wind the clock, wind the clock. Well, great, but you don't have half your tools that are in motion. So it'll be a gain of 1, second down and 9 at the 31-yard line. Rocky James in wide to the far side. Press coverage on him by the corners. Rixey wide to the right. Crable looks right, pulls it down, looks, throws now to a spot. Rocky James has got it with that patented high grab, left his feet at the 20.
Nobody high points a ball like him. He just does a fantastic job of timing that ball into those hands and getting as much vertical acceleration as he can. Great catch that time, right inside the red zone.
At the 19 is where they spotted first and 10. Cougars were 3 for 3 in red zone scoring opportunities. Boy, look at it's not just the wind that's swirling, but some debris coming out of the stands.
Yeah.
And it's all over the place. And it's getting darker and darker to the north. 3 wide to the left. Crable, though, looking and throws the ball, and that's a drop. Kamakevich in a little middle screen opportunity, but that one came at him right on belt buckle, and he just could not find it.
Yeah, I think it was a little hot, and Crable was getting some pressure. Kamakevich was just supposed to curl in from that outside and take it up through the middle, but he just couldn't get his hands on it, so an incompletion there brings up second and long.
37-7, where we're at here with 11 minutes plus remaining. Chrisman now, he's caught a touchdown today wide to the far side with that 6'5" frame. Schmeling in motion, counter run. Martell Williams a hole up the middle, inside the 5, and he's blasted his way down to the 4.
That was beautiful. Big old opening right there, right up the gut, and he just takes it right down, makes the safety make a grab, and he saves it right at the 4-yard line.
Hurry up offense now by USF as Martell Williams again. They'll look to him, cuts left and up the middle, fighting down inside the 1, did not score.
Williams that time, again, we talked about his 2 different styles. When he sees that hole, he just blasts it. When nothing is there, he is patient enough to go a little bit left, a little bit right, and wait for that hole to develop, and that's what we saw on that play, getting it down to the 1.
He's got a little bit of Justin Green in him, a little bit of P.J. Dean. You know, a guy that you like these running backs for the Silver and Blue. They've got a great job of patience and waiting for the blocks and then attacking. Now it'll be second down and goal from the 1. Williams stays in as the running back. They'll try him again and looking and pushing into the end zone. Touchdown, Martell Williams. Time of the score at 10:03 here in the fourth quarter.
Got to give a big shout out to big number 59 for the University of St. Francis Cougars. That's Austin Smoger, the senior offensive lineman, did a nice job pulling. He was the lead blocker that time for the running back, and he was able to just open that up and give him a nice scoring opportunity for Williams.
Yeah, Grosh is back in there now with the point after attempt. Neppers the hold. Waits till he's ready. Now here's the snap. Right-footed kick coming, and end over end on their way, and good to make it 44-7 USF. That's the most points for the Cougars in quite some time. So we'll step out. USF in command here at home in the regular season finale of the regular season. This is Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio 106.3 FM.
The Missouri Baptist coaches.
Oh, they've left, huh?
Yeah, they're done.
Kicking off for the Cougars, number 87, Gavin Gardner. Each of the Spartans.
Well, with 10:03 remaining in this ball game, the upstairs coaches for Missouri Baptist, they've decided, you know what? We're going to head down towards the exits, get ready for the bus trip back to St. Louis. That's you don't see that often.
No, not this early. Wow.
Now here comes the kick, short. Hooch kick coming near side, that'll bounce. Takes a high bounce, it is fielded. That's Sergio Lopez, and given ground, that was a mistake. Back inside the 10, down at the 9.
Yeah, he was on the very short side over here and decides to curl around and try the opposite side. There is nothing there for him whatsoever. He ended up losing about 7 yards.
Sean, I don't think I've ever seen that in 21 years that you know, I've seen coaches, and I would not have blamed Pat Donnelly last week in the you know, the final minute.
But now with 10 minutes to go, wow, yeah. Elvis has left the building.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans. They've got a long field to work with. Now what do we have? Tom Burns going to try to reset things. A lot of play clock remaining for Brown. Looks to Baldwin, off tackle to the right side, trying to reach the 10. And that is going to be about it.
Still see some number 1s out there. Pearson Harnish there on a plug up from his linebacker position.
Well, what a difference a couple of hours can make. You know, about 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. Could have thought about maybe going up to the lake. Now,
not so much.
Maybe looking at, do we need to get the snow shovel out?
Yeah, that's right.
One wide either side of the field. King out there to the right side. He's caught a couple of big passes today. Set up their touchdown run by Chase Brown. Brown out of the gun. Now long count from the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 4. Hands to Baldwin. Baldwin runs into his own man and never did get back to the 10.
No, Harnish was there. That's going to be a big tackle for loss. Harnish, I think he came in unabated to the backfield right there, was almost there at the transaction, and he just got buried.
Look at the fun between Dutton and Harnish coming out congratulating one another, staying on the field, and with those hip bumps. And,
they're having fun. It's a great thing to see.
You know, when you're a senior, you never know. In situations like this, you could be done very quickly. Now clock at 8:42. That's a loss. 3rd down and 12, trying to get out to the 20-yard line, and the whistle's blew right at the snap.
I believe that's going to be a motion penalty against Missouri Baptist. We had a receiver, I think, left early.
That'll be half the distance. Ball was at the 7. Yeah, it's KJ Satcher, sophomore right guard. Got the wrong count, so that'll move it back to the 4-yard line. You can almost hear the wind. I don't know in the crowd mic, if the field mic, if you can hear it, Sean. So
yeah, well, we got a brand new sock on it, so it might be knocking it down. If it was unprotected, but I'm sure we would hear it.
Now a run to the right side, and they'll get back to about the 9.
I was a quarterback keeper that time, and he is pushed well out of bounds, almost near the fence over there.
Yeah, there's a soccer goal over there on the sidelines, and I thought he was going into it initially. But it was not a late hit. It was just simply his momentum carried him a lot deeper.
Right.
So Demuth again into punt, this time deep in the end zone, about 4 yards. And let's see, Rixey's back in punt returns. Got some company back here at the 45 of Missouri Baptist. USF with 8:11 remaining, the clock moving, and they should get very good field position once again.
It might be Kamakevich on the far side. I don't know.
Here comes the punt. Kick is away, high, hanging kick. And Kamakewicz at the 49 lost the football. and still free, and Missouri Baptist has got it at the 48 of USF.
Yeah, big mistake that time by the St. Francis special teams. One of the very few that we've seen today as the special teams units for St. Francis has really been quite spectacular today. So a big mistake that time gives the ball back to Missouri Baptist in USF territory.
After the fumble, Missouri Baptist was covering.
So, just like that, Spartans with new life. 7:51 to play. And they've got the ball at the Cougar 47-yard line. Now that tight end Roosevelt Henderson. They got him in tight to the left side. Straight I formation now. Under center is Chase Brown. A little different set we've seen today. And here's Baldwin. Penalty flags were thrown right at the snap. And he runs close to, he's got a first down if it stands up down to the USF around the 35. And they're still pushing the pile.
Yeah, there's about 20 guys in that scrum right there. And so I like the I formation. It seemed to be a very positive result there for Missouri Baptist. Just a little power run off tackle right. Got down the field for about 12 yards, but this one may be coming back as a flag was on the field.
MBU backing up. USF trying to make some adjustments personnel-wise as well. Here's where in the final 7.5 minutes, give it take, it can get a little chippy and got to be careful. You talked about it, Sean, earlier, trying to keep guys, especially you don't want anybody to get hurt, but especially your ones.
That's right.
Penalty moves it back to the Spartan side of midfield to the 48.
And big scrums like that, especially when you have an offensive unit that has been struggling for Missouri Baptist, sometimes this is where the frustrations try to get released.
Nick Brown is in wide to the right side. Deep handoff, and again Baldwin runs into a wall right at the 49. This time he's going nowhere, pushed back.
Yeah, 3 guys on the tackle there for USF, including I think Mannion was in on there, along with Thornberry and a couple other guys as well.
So it'll be second down and 13. You know, going back to that earlier play, I don't beat it to death, but when you get 15, 20 guys en masse there, to me that looks like just an accident, an ACL tear or ankle just waiting to happen, you know, and I wish they would do something about that maybe. And again, you don't want to cheat the running back, maybe trying to get extra yardage, but boy, that is a dangerous situation in my estimation.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I formation again, and there's a good run up the middle. It'll be short of the first down, but again, Baldwin carries down to the USF 42, just inside that.
You know, it's situations like that, Joe. If you've never been in one, folks that might be listening, you don't know. There's limbs. There's you can get cleated. There's all kinds of stuff that's get twisted and turned in there when you've got 20 guys pushing against each other.
And half those guys are 290 or 300 pounds.
That's right. Yeah, they count for 2 people. Yeah.
Third down and 5. Spartans now, the Cougars come up in press coverage on the outside. They try to get to the 37. Baldwin again looking for running room, fights his way to the 40. That's it. They'll be 3 yards short on this 4th down call, and I would expect the Spartans to go for it.
Yeah,
down
certainly.
44-7.
Yeah, they've been pulling that right guard or right tackle, to come over and do a kickout block there. And St. Francis defense has really penetrated that line so that it's really not an option because the linebackers are right there to clean up that hole.
Chase Brown, he's a senior, did not play against St. Francis last year in St. Louis. Now under center, it stays in the eye, looking with a long count if he can draw St. Francis off, and now pitches the ball to the right. Here's Sergio Lopez trying to turn the corner. Wrapped up, he won't get there. Dropped at the 42-yard line, and the Cougars with a 4th down stop.
Adam Hoffer doing a nice job out of New Haven. Great pursuit angle, drops him for no gain whatsoever. Maybe even a tackle for loss out there in the flats.
So the Cougars will take over the football at their own 42-yard line. And now I would expect we need to start getting the roster out.
Yeah, that's right.
5:18 remains. And we will see who comes in. See some changes already on the offensive line. Rob Brown checks in. He's normally, and he will snap the football. He's a 355-pound sophomore. Now the Spartans come up in press coverage as the Cougars run the football off tackle to the right. The gain is out to the 45, and Clay Cenarius now in at quarterback, replacing Matt Crable with just over 5 minutes remaining and a gain of 3.
Yeah, that's what they need to do, is just get some guys in there that can manage some snaps, get a little more experience and some lifetime play, and things will be looking good here for the University of St. Francis as they hope to close out. And again, climbing those polls. You know, this is a very important game for postseason work here.
Spread
for St.
offense,
Francis.
2 wide either side. Cenarius in there. Running back offset to the right side. Cenarius wants to throw, and he throws complete. There's a bobbled ball, but finally caught at midfield. Let's see if they give him a spot right there, as that catch was made by Jordan Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon out of Arsenal Tech. He checks in as a 6 foot, 180-pound receiver.
His 3rd catch of the year. Short of the first down, they'll need 2. 3rd down and 2 coming up. Again, a hurry-up offense is Martell Williams looking for running room in fight. He's going to get back to midfield. That's it. So it'll bring up 4th down with just over 4 minutes remaining. And boy, the wind. Look at the trees to the left here.
Well, you can even feel it here in the press box, Joe.
Temperature has dropped.
Yep, there's some grumbling going on, and I asked the rest of the press box crew what that is. It's actually the canopy up there that is rattling this entire press box.
That's what we're hearing. Yeah. I thought it was the wind earlier. Let's hope we don't become a huge kite.
Yeah.
It'll be 4th down, and St. Francis looks like they're going to go for it. Cenarius with spread offense, 2 wide, wants to throw. Looking, holds the ball, throws in the middle, has got to catch Schmilling at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 USF.
Great vision by Cenarius. A couple of crossing routes, one underneath, one in that zone between the linebackers and deep backs. He made a great connection.
Claire Cenarius, the 6'4 junior, came in sterling numbers, Sean, through the air. 13 of 18 for 72%, 141 yards, 1 touchdown. So they'll have a new set of downs at the 35 with just over 3 minutes remaining. Cenarius from the left side, hash mark. Martell Williams stays in as the running back. The give is to him. Blasted up the middle. He's got a chance inside the 20. Steps out of a tackle, and he will run inside. Dives for the pylon. They're going to rule him out of bounds.
Wow.
Short of the goal line.
Very impressive run that time, and a great job shedding that tackle. He was not able to get out of that second one, but with a valiant effort for the end zone.
So the Cougars with a scoring opportunity again with the backups in there. Cenarius looking back to the near sideline as play clock is running. Chris Smith will check into the game now. Kamakewicz leaves. Schmeling stays in. Caught that 4th down pass. Keep the drive alive. Again, this is not about points. This is about developing your backups. On the wing, the right side, Smith. Martell Williams, high snap. And Williams nailed right about the 3-yard line. Never got a chance.
Yeah, I'd like to think that high snap had a little bit to do with that one, because that is all timing. That quick hitter right there with Smith being the lead blocker. Nothing was able to develop because Cenarius really had to elevate to get that snap.
John Doherty in on the offensive line this series. So Jordan Cannon leaves. We're down 2 minutes time remaining here in this ball game. Just the final score to be determined. With the ball at the 3, it's 2nd down and goal. Wide right to the left side. I believe that's Janai Cooper. Caught an amazing catch at USF Illinois earlier in the year. Now they hand the ball to Williams. Williams looking, and he will go into the end zone. Shedded a tackle at the 3. And Martell Williams for the 2nd touchdown of the ball game for that young man into the end zone.
And he deserved that one. That was his drive right there, doing a great job. I really like his style. He's going to be a really important playmaker in the weeks, months, and years to come here for St. Francis.
Cougars have reached the half-century mark, 50-7. By the way, Sean, while I got a quick moment, want to wish a happy 41st birthday to my oldest daughter, Julie, who's in town today.
All right.
PhD professor at Ohio State. Don't tell the Michigan fans that. Here's a ball off the upright. It's good. No, it hit off the net inside the right upright. So good to make it 51-7. And we'll be back after a break. Cougar Football on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM.
When you experience a sports injury, muscle, or joint pain, you want treatment right away. Parkview Ortho Express provides same-day orthopedic and sports injury care without referral or appointment, offering diagnostics, x-rays, the region's only body composition DEXA scan right inside of the Sport One Parkview Fieldhouse. Walk in Monday through Thursday, 7 to 7, Friday, 7 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to noon. For more information, go to parkviewsportsmedicine.com/orthoexpress.
Since USF scored 60 back here in September the 15th against St. Andrews.
Well, and it's a great thing too, Joe, because we consider the last couple of games, even last week, this was a time where I was putting away my stuff thinking, okay, time to go, cry in my favorite beverage. But no, this is a great showing by USF.
Here's a ball that was knuckling, but it's caught in a return across the 20, and to the 21 is where Missouri Baptist, and they are still, USF came up with a football, but
yeah, they did.
I think they're going to mark it down, and the Spartans will have it. Let's see who got all excited down there.
Well, now USF just put the ball, they're using the USF ball, which typically means that USF is going to be on offense.
Yeah, Nick Lucas came up with a ball, but Spartans are going to have it first and 10.
All right.
And they'll have it at the 22. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. Boy, the trees just waving back and forth big time. And here's a deep handoff again. Baldwin trying to find some hole to the right, and he will not find it at all. And it's just a matter of trying to get out of here with nobody hurt in the final moments of this ball game.
Boy, even the flagpole, Old Glory over there is taking a beating, Joe. You see that flagpole is whipping back and forth. It's almost completely horizontal at this point.
Front moving in quickly from the north. Wind is just big time out of the west right now. I mean, I'm surprised if the flag just doesn't break free and go into Mirror Lake out there. 2nd down and 9 after a gain of 1. Final 48 seconds. Please keep the clock moving. I formation. Brown looks again to hand it off. Baldwin trying to run to his left, and it got by 1 out across the 30-yard line. That might be Sergio Lopez.
Number 8.
Sergio Lopez, I believe, getting the call instead of Baldwin. But maybe one more snap, and that should be about it. With down to 23 seconds.
And that's if they want to. There's 40 on the play clock. They don't have to run a play here if they don't want to, and I don't think they're going to,
They're
Joe.
not going to. They decide that's going to be it. Want to get on the road before you get caught on the way back to St. Louis and all kind of who knows what weathered situations.
Right.
51-7 USF, and in command from the get-go here today, and really feeding off that dramatic overtime victory a week ago here at Darcy Stadium. And St. Francis back on target, back on track. Kevin Donnelly looking for a big day offensively, because 2 more games on the road, and that's it in the regular season. It all starts next Saturday at Lindenwood Belleville. Must-win situation for USF each and every week in the final 2 road games. 51-7, the final. We'll be back with a post-game show. This is Cougar Football and Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM, Northeast Indiana.